Good evening, everyone. How is everyone doing today? How is everyone doing today? I hope that you guys are doing okay. As you come into the room, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button as you come into the room. Let me see who is in here. I came on kind of late tonight. I know, right? Too Pretty Miss Kitty. I see Kimberly Spence, Natural Born Queen, Jeff Lee. Shirley James, and Miss Michelle. Hey, Miss Michelle. How is everybody doing, y'all? I am happy to be back, y'all. I had a vacation and I was on the beach. Hey, Lynn Smith. Um, and I had the opportunity to rejuvenate and like to revive my mind. And I spent some time with my mom and my children and my family. I actually had a cousin. They got married on the beach. It was so beautiful. Hey, Miss Edith. My cousin got married on the beach. It was so beautiful, and I had the opportunity, y'all. I love to like go and meditate by the water. Water is like a just a definitely a property of God, but it actually has a language. And the reason I say that is because when I am on the water, when I'm near the water and I'm meditating, I start getting ideas like rivers of flowing water. It's like, you know, ideas just start flowing through me. That's why I always say that water has a language because once I quiet myself, in my mind and start meditating. I just start getting ideas as if the water is speaking to me or through me. That's why I know it's definitely a entity and a property of God. Hello, Malcolm. Hello, natural born queen. Who else came in here that I didn't see? But it was, oh my God, y'all. I got to get back to my trainer because where we was at, I mean, it was so beautiful. It was our first time going to that particular place, but it was nothing but seafood restaurants. And I am a seafood, even though I love Italian, I'm a seafood fanatic too. And so we tried to eat at all of the different seafood restaurants. Like these were like mom and pop seafood restaurants. Okay. It was like mom and pop seafood restaurants. I just got a message from Instagram. Hold on. Let me see something. Um, hmm, it popped up. Child, y'all know I be easily interrupted when something pop up. I got a message from Instagram. And the food, if when it's those like mom and pop restaurants, the messages, I said the messages, the food is so good. Okay. The food is so good because it's authentic um food. Okay. And so we just had a good time. We did. Like I said, we had a good time. Had the opportunity to get my second wind. And I'm gonna say this before I get into I want to talk to you about something. It's very urgent. I don't know your email to talk to you. Okay, it's Real Talk with Tamara at gmail.com. But I also want to say this, okay? It is a beautiful thing when, you have people because my mother and I it was my mother and I and my daughters. And it was a good thing to have us all there because my mother is like a praying warrior and she's always able to bring me back to the center, to just pray some devils back into hell, where they supposed to be. And then to be able to talk to my dad, and it was almost like it was a spiritual thing because my dad actually ended up calling me when I was sitting at down, at the beach. And we ended up talking about some things. When you have a strong father that's in your life, that he's just strong, you know, with good advice, um, just good direction. That's a good thing. So it was just good. I work all of the time, and to be able to just sit there on the beach and do nothing but think, you know, and eat seafood and enjoy my daughters and enjoy, laughing with my daughters and laughing and, with my mom and fellowshipping that night when my mother was praying and stuff. That was, I can't think of anything better than that. That was just absolutely just awesome. And then aside from seeing my cousin getting married and how happy she was to finally, just thinking about my cousin and that same cousin, the situation that she was in some years back, right? And how God has tremendously blessed her with a what appears to be a really good man who seems to cater to her hand and feet, and to see how amazing they were reciting their vows and their poems and stuff to each other. I was like, oh my God, because she's my cousin, I know what she went through in another situation some years back and how traumatic it was for her. It almost took her down. And for God to reverse that, He gave her not double for her trouble, He gave her triple for her trouble. He gave her back everything that the devil thought he took. And He gave her a man that waits on her hand and feet, that gave her everything. He gave it all back to her. And aside from that, he appears to be a good man that loves her daughter also. So, when I was looking at her getting married on the beach, I couldn't do anything but shed some tears. Like I was looking at her and I was crying. I was thinking about God had brought back to me what Joseph said, because my cousin and I are very close. My cousins and I are all around the same age. We're very close. We grew up together. And I think about all those nights and stuff we was on the phone when she was going through that situation some years back, and she didn't really she had just lost hope, because of what she went through. And so I thought about that scripture in the Bible when she was walking down the aisle on the beach to her new husband, and God gave me the scripture that said that when Joseph said it had to happen, but it was good for me. And I couldn't do anything. Tears just started flowing because I thought about all those nights my cousin and I was up when she was going through a depression because of what she had gone through in another relationship. And then 3 years later, God has given her Boaz, which was absolutely just wonderful. And I think God gave me that scripture because when she would be on the phone, when we would be on the phone all night, she would be going, I just can't understand why, I'm a good person. Why is it that I got to go through this? And that's why God brought that scripture to me, that when Joseph said it had to happen, but it was good for me, you meant it for bad, which means her other husband meant it for bad, but God meant it for her good because he had something better for her. So it was just a beautiful experience being out there. I'm telling you, on the beach and witnessing all that. It was just so awesome. Who is that? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sitting up here talking, and some more people has come in. Let's see. Dima is in the house. That's my big sis. Two Pistols is in the house. Hakia. Thank you, Hakia. Republicrat. Hey, I think it's somebody out there who don't want me on here with you. About 2 weeks ago, I discovered I was blocked from being about to send you messages and super stickers on the chat. I'm back. Oh, okay. Um, it it ain't no telling. Uh, let's see. Natural Born, Little Miss Muffin, Miss T. Next time, give us heads up. I've been looking for you all weekend. Okay, Little Miss Muffin, I'm gonna do that. I'm sorry. Hey, Miss Jacqueline. Miss Catalea is in the house. Okay, you guys, tonight I wanted to talk about Jada Youngin. And I know I'm kind of late on this, Jada Youngin lost his life. Of course, um he was a young rapper from out of Louisiana. And the thing about it is this is sad because it's starting to become the norm. And with these young men, especially these young rappers, are losing, that are losing their lives. And I see so many people have excuses. They go, well, they were probably gang members, or and they probably were. But we still don't want this to become the norm where African American men are consistently losing their lives. And it is a pattern with these young rappers. It is a pattern, and people are just kind of dismissing it. When things start to happen too much, I don't dismiss it. I don't. It's something that's not right, And I was looking at some stuff on Jada Young, and I'm getting ready to pull it back up. um, it looks like Jada Youngin, um, he was signed to about three different labels, right? And it says that his labels was Systematic, Rough Way, and Atlantic. Okay, so already he was signed to three different labels. I'm reading that. Systematic, what's that? Ruffins, did I say Rough Way, and Atlantic. And so we all know that Atlantic is a major label, and I'm not saying the labels had anything to do with it. I'm just saying when these young men get signed to these labels or whatever, and then it looks like he was already a Rough Way is his own label. Okay, Rough Way is his own label. Thank God for that. But that means he was signed to two other labels then, which was at Systematic and Atlantic. Now, like I said, we don't want this to become the norm where we're consistently brushing stuff off and saying, well, it was gang related. It could have been, I don't know. But it's becoming terrible in our community. A lot of people look at the labels and they go, they feel like some of these labels may have something to do with it. I'm not saying that hasn't happened. I don't know if it happened in this situation. I definitely don't know if it happened in this situation. Um, but even if it was just somebody hating, y'all, why are we? Because why are these young men consistently taking out and destroying their communities? But why are these young men getting taken out when they start to get a little buzz? Like I said, it's almost like it's a pattern. And rest in peace, Young Dolph says, and it was a street beef like Dolph. I can't lie. He said it was a street beef. He had money on his head back at home. They're saying that rest in peace, Young Dolph says he had money on his head back at home. Reports are saying that he was on his mother's porch and somebody came up from behind and took him out. So I'm getting ready to show some video, of course. Um, let's see. This is somebody that was just driving through his neighborhood. As y'all can see, his car still parked where he left it parked at. At his mom's house. And that car would not be hard to spot. Of course, you could see some family and stuff that was, still out there. It looks like with the police still being out there.
More about the deadly shooting in Bogalusa.
The family of the victim, Javarius Scott, known as JAYDAYOUNGAN, they say that he was standing outside of his home on Superior Avenue when someone opened fire, killing the rap artist.
WDSU News reporter Shay O'Connor spoke to Scott's grandfather, and he says he wants justice. It's a story you'll see only on 6.
There will be no stone left unturned until we found out who took him.
Elsie Jefferson says he's devastated at the news that his grandson, 24-year-old Javarius Scott, also known as JAYDAYOUNGAN, was murdered Wednesday night in his hometown of Bogalusa.
This is only what I hear. Someone came up from behind the house, and with a ski mask on and gunned him down in broad open daylight on a public road, a road that's a busy road. So people have gotten so bold of doing things today because they know or they feel like they won't be caught.
The rapper, well known on social media for his song 23 Island.
New bag, brand new deposit, brand new deposit.
That song now has more than 17 million streams on Spotify. To his grandfather, he was just a kid trying to make it in music.
I remember when he first started his music. I remember him sitting out here 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, him and his cousin writing music. It's sad that at his young age, just when he was really getting things right the way that they should be, that he had to be taken away.
The family confirms Scott's dad, Kenyatta Scott, was also shot. Police say he's expected to be okay. The news quickly spread, followers showing love online for the slain rapper. Police say they want to find the person responsible and say there's already been a number of shootings in the area since the rapper was killed.
A few minutes later, while my officers are investigating this scene, we had a call of another shooting across town. Later in the night, a few hours later, we had a third shooting where a house was shot up that we also believe to be related.
Police say no one was hurt during the other 2 shootings. A few suspects have been identified, but no motive or suspect yet in the case of JAYDAYOUNGAN. Family members say they hope the community will pull through for them and help to solve the case. In the meantime, Jefferson says he finds solace in the legacy his grandson leaves behind.
Looking at him and looking at the way he made his music and looking at where he come from, it gives other people hope. And his music gave them hope, but it's gone now.
Shay O'Connor, WDSU News.
Oh wow. Y'all, that's really sad. I hate that for his family. My condolences to his family. Definitely. Hold on one second.
He was one of the most respectful young men I've ever met. I have never known him to be disrespectful to an adult, and we're so proud of him, what he was able to do with his life.
Well, this morning, hundreds of people showed up to pay their final respects to rapper and Louisiana local Javarius Scott. Scott, who is professionally known as JAYDAYOUNGAN, was shot along with his father outside their home in Bogalusa last month. Today, friends, family, and even fellow musicians, they gathered to say goodbye to the young rapper who meant a lot to the community.
I saw some of his music, and my kids would always talk to me about, Dad, he's going to be big, he's going to be big. Well, he was big, and we're so very proud of the work that he did, especially the work of coming back to feed folks here in Bogalusa.
Well, investigators are still looking for his killer. Scott was 24 years old.
Wow. I tell you, y'all, this is sad. Rest in peace to Jada Youngin. Definitely gone too soon, and it breaks my heart for his family and for him because he has so much life. To be making a buzz for himself. His grandfather said he would be out on the porch. You know, um, he would be out on the porch. You know, late up in the night trying to do that music thing, and then when he finally makes a buzz for himself, somebody guns him down. It's sad. Um, of course, it you when it's a sad thing. Somebody when they said that whoever it was had on a mask and they came from behind. I'm reminded of, and I know I looked up the proximity, um, the range from New Orleans to that town that he was in. I can't think of it right now, Bogalusa or something that Jada Youngin was from. It's about an hour and some change from Louisiana, from New Orleans, I mean. And so he was close around the New Orleans proximity, and that's kind of something similar that happened to Soldier Slim. Somebody was waiting behind his mother's house or on the side of his mother's house and came from around the house when he pulled back up and took him out. And they're saying the same thing happened with this young man, which probably, thank you so much, Republicrat, for the 99-cent super sticker. I really appreciate that. Um, you talking about Republicrat? I'm not Republicrat, but somebody probably spotted his car. Y'all saw how vibrant his car was, right? And he was sitting out there on the porch. And people were saying, even though he was sitting out there on the porch of his mother's house, he never should have been sitting out there like that. Because he was no longer, like, he's a celebrity now. Especially if there was some beef. But a lot of times, um, with young men like him, he probably didn't take himself that seriously. He didn't really look at himself as no superstar. He was still kind of hanging out, with his friends and in the hood. So I'm sure they spotted that car, and they probably, if they came from behind the house, they probably went and parked on the street in the back or something, and came up through his yard and got him because they knew he was sitting on the porch. They saw him. They was able to creep up on him just that quick. So he had got shot at a week before. Wow, they say he had gotten shot at a week before, and that car is pretty, but it's a vibrant color. And of course, everybody, when they see it, they're gonna know it's his car. And I think that's what a lot of the biggest security system you can have at home is some killer dogs. Yeah. Um. Hey, Player Code is in the house. Um. As you all come in, make sure yes, please hit the like button. So young, gone too soon. My condolences to the family. Absolutely. Hey, King 901 Deshaun. I hadn't seen you here in a while. Him and Dolph got the same car, CB Corvette, C8 Corvette. Wow, that's what they did. He was 2 weeks from getting a transfer. Wait a minute. He was 2 weeks from getting a transfer for his ankle monitor from his mom's. Wow, putting bags on heads seems to be. I agree with you, Demont. It seems to me that putting bags on people's heads is the trending thing now, and that's a shame. Like, is it because these young men are getting um deals? Was it jealousy? Because I'm sure if these young men were his ops, it's not something that just happened. They probably have been going back and forth with each other for a while. So why all of a sudden now they decide that they want to take him out? And they said that shortly after that, there was some shooting. So it seems to me some of his friends probably went and tried to retaliate. They were unsuccessful, but they went and they tried to retaliate. It's a shame, you guys, when you cannot even sit on your porch at home. A lot of people want to try to blame him and say, well, he should not have been sitting outside. What is abnormal about a person sitting outside on their mama's porch talking to their dad? Okay. I know the security risk and all that, but what is abnormal about that? Nothing. What is abnormal is for somebody to go and kill somebody that's sitting at their own home on their own porch, minding their own business. That's what's abnormal. And so, y'all, it's getting to be too much. When you see young men like this, I saw that Lil Boosie was at his funeral. Um, he seemed to be really upset. Like I said, Buckaloosa is right there in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans. So, he's, you know, from right around that area that Boosie is from. And there was reports. Somebody was telling me, I don't know if I read it or somebody was telling me that allegedly his mother is saying that the police officers stole about $90,000 out of his house. Now I don't know, but I will say this: that Lil Boosie has alleged for many times, and for many years, that when he was living in Baton Rouge, that the Baton Rouge Police Department used to, when they would come into his house, they would mess with him purposely, and when they would come into his house, they would steal from him. They would steal his money. They would steal his jewelry. He said that. He said that. So, I don't know if that's true, but I mean, I think that's a rumor. Demon says, I'm learning that people pick beasts with you for no other purpose than jealousy and absolutely. When people start blowing up, I think, and you're right, Demon. That's why you have to be very careful about when people try and bait you into stuff and you've never done anything to them and they have a problem with you for nothing and you don't really know their background and how messed up in the head that they are. And that jealousy is as deadly as the grave. It speaks about that, okay, in the Bible. When people start trying to pick a fight with you, okay, it is because that jealousy has taken over. And it is so that they can pull you in to try to take you out. You know, you really have to condition your mind to that. Because I know a lot of times when people get into it, people used to argue and then they just argue, cuss each other out, and they go on. But now people are trying to bait you into something so that they can try and take you out. Especially if they looking at you as a competition. And a lot of them ain't even no competition because what he was doing, those other young men probably were not doing. They just was jealous that he was doing it. Um, Catalyst says, okay. Black men get paid. I'm not mad at you. Rest in peace, young dog said T, his best friend, got locked up a day before his funeral for them shootings, and his bond got denied today in federal court. Oh wow! So his best friend went and tried to retaliate, and wow. So yeah, okay. Well, the police, the sheriff out there was basically saying he did say that he believed that they was related. Those shootings were related. So I guess his friend went and tried to retaliate. Hakia says, that's the come up. Bags on heads and human trafficking. Ninjas don't want to work and get it out the mud. You absolutely right. You absolutely right. Bags on heads. My come up is I go and destroy my community. Give me a few $1,000s because all it takes is a few thousand. That's why everybody need to have a gun so that you can protect yourself. And I'm gonna go start me a business. Um, I'm gonna go start me a business with the money that I was given to go and kill another damn human being and take them away from their family and destroy their family's life and my community and continuously just destroy the black community. But I'm gonna do all that, and then this is how I'm gonna tell y'all something. Y'all know how I'm getting ready to get started. Okay, I was mellowed out. This is how sick a lot of people are. This is how they think. They'll go, well, you know what? They'll go and they'll take money to go and be a damn hitman. And they'll say, I'm going to come up off of that. Y'all hear what I'm saying? I'm telling y'all, our people need some damn repair. They sick. They'll go and take some money to go do a damn hit and then destroy somebody's family. Because when you take a man and he's got children off of this earth, you not only hurting him, you hurting his children. You destroying a whole damn family. You hurting parents and things of that nature. You hurting families. You destroying families. But people are so twisted, they looking at it as a come up. Okay? They looking at it as a come up. I'm gonna go and hit this lick. And then I'm gonna go start me a business and put a business in the community to help the black community. That's how sick these folks are. They go and destroy it and then say, with that money, I'm gonna take it and start me a damn business and give back to my community in the same damn breath. Rob 23K says, Jay the Goats. I hear he had good music, Rob. That's why if you make in the rap world, get out of your city. They hate bitter and miserable people. They asked me today why I smile so much. I'm happy. They are known for their sausages called D&D. They are so good. When you in the limelight, you can't be doing normal shit no more. It will cost you your life out here. That's true, Politico. That's true. We are seeing that now and more and more. They don't have nothing else better to do but cause harm to innocent people. And now his little baby boy won't have his father growing up to guide him. And his baby is so little, he's not going to really even have memories of his father. Not really. He won't really remember him. And that's so sad, all because of jealousy. People are so and I don't mean no harm. And I don't want the black men that are on here to get mad, because I know it's the black men on here don't do that. But it's just too many black men now that are getting too emotional and destroying our communities. I remember a time where black men did not tolerate or deal in any mess, and they didn't allow their women to be all gossipy and starting all types of shit with other women either. But now you see so many black men that are emotional, and they are completely destroying the black community. With they get a little money, you would think if they got as much money as you see circulating around here, with a lot of money, with the amount of money that you see a lot of these black men with that are being accused of putting bags on top of folks' heads, you would think they would have better things to do than to be trying to take somebody out. They're able to go buy what they want, take care of their families. They are not struggling. So what is the urgency? Why would you want to just take somebody else out just because? Because there's never an excuse if the person is not a threat to you. I'm talking about physically. I'm not talking about career wise. Because a lot of people feel like, well, I eliminated the competition. A lot of people are mentally messed up. Now Wednesday. Okay. Yes, y'all, please don't forget to hit the like button as you come into the room. Amen, Miss Shirlene. We're doing good, Snoozy K. I have a friend from there, and her family sees them, sends them to her. Hour she brings them back from home. Oh, wow. It's the boys and dusty grown men destroying our community. They can't blame most of this mess on black women. Absolutely. It's a complicated story with his death, and his family had opposing affiliation within, along with other things. It couldn't get anything but bad as time went on. Wow. Wow. um, I have two people who bring them no matter what. Everybody, it's something going on in the ninja news. Hey, Nicole B. Some people don't mean you no harm, but they don't mean you no good at the same time. That's true. CJ was only 6 months when his dad passed, and we still talk about notorious. Jada Youngan's son would definitely remember him. I hope so, David Lewis. I do. Um, it's grown folks talk over here. No fan favor facades, just the truth and nothing but the truth. Absolutely. Sometimes certain celebrities and musical artists are killed for disagreeing with how they would move up to get all the wealth. It's a shame. Whatever's going on, it's a shame. But all of this jealousy, when you hear people talk about street B, it's just it's you know. Rest in peace, young Dolph says he also was a giver like Dolph, and he did plenty of Christmas and Thanksgiving giveaways. Oh my God. Oh my freaking God. Y'all. Oh my God. I just looked at his birth date, and he was born on the exact same day and year that my oldest daughter, was born. They was born on the exact same day. Oh my God. I don't know what made me go look at his birthday. But they was born on the exact same day and year. His family would keep his memory alive for his son. Yes, he was. Yep, he was a very grounded young man. You heard the police went in the house and took $90,000. His mama was out there yelling. Right. I heard that, his mother allegedly said that and I was looking for that video that the police stole $90,000 from him. He passed away on Dolph's birthday. Wow. I mean, me and his mother gave birth the same day and year. It's so sad. Like I said, it's so sad that these young men are losing their lives. And it's basically all about nothing. Hello, Miss Laura. Yep, his birthday was in July and he got out on Father's Day. Wow. Wow. Now, as far as the police going in there and taking $90,000, I'm trying to figure out now if this happened the same day that he was killed. If he was shot on the outside of the house, there would not have been a need for the police to go on the inside of their house. Not unless, they was going to check. Um, well, he shot him from the outside. Not unless they thought maybe some casings went through the inside of the house. I can't understand why they would be in there searching her house and then they're able to steal 90 grand. Now, if he had 90 grand, I'm sure he didn't make it easy to get to. Because if they had 90 grand in the house in their safe, locked, the police was in violation. What is he doing? Searching for money in that house or searching for anything. The hierarchy in the government or industry would have those artists and actors killed for disagreeing. Wow. Y'all, please hit the like button as y'all come into the room. Tonight we're talking about JAYDAYOUNGAN, Gone Too Soon. And like I said, it's a crying shame to see so many of these young African American men losing their lives. And they seem to be losing their lives, y'all. Okay. As soon as they get a buzz. It seems like people get jealous instantly. They get jealous instantly. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I'm getting ready to send some links. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. Demon, check your link. Okay, guys, I'm back. Um, I said JAYDAYOUNGAN was a successful entertainer, so if that's true, all they need to do is get a lawyer to get the money back. Well, that's true because most of them are paid in cash. Am I right? They're paid in cash when they do these shows. For those of you all that are just coming into the room, y'all, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Tonight we're talking about JAYDAYOUNGAN. I saw another video that I wanted to play for you guys. Um, Hold on. Hold on. Hold on, y'all.
Big step. Nightlight, did you get it? Nightlight. If you didn't, I'm finna block. Oh, you got it? You got it, bro. It's on boostedmovie.com. Following me. I'm blocking them too. I gotta block you, bro. MDs, I'm gonna block you till you say can't shake back. You ain't got $9. Shit. You ain't got it? Go get you a 9 to 5.
Okay, I was trying to show the video where Boosie was actually speaking about him. Did y'all hear about the feds raiding Donald Trump house? So CMF don't stand a chance of getting out of this. No, now that yeah, I heard about that. 80 top chat, 33 likes don't add up. Y'all, if you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. We only have 33 likes. So please hit the like button. Okay, Catalina. Let me see what email you texted it to me. Hold on. Okay. Hold on. I wish it was some kind of way that I could. Hold on, Catalina. Y'all hold on 1 second. Okay. Okay, you guys, I'm back. I'm back. If y'all haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. You hit. Thank you, Miss Deborah. 52 likes. Let's get it on up, y'all. Let's run it up. Let's see. I sent it via text. Okay. And in the back hidden, we see up here and like, please. 76 watching. Yes, y'all. Tonight we're talking about JAYDAYOUNGAN and Gone Too Soon, y'all. And I think it's a shame that so many of our young men are losing their lives. And I just happened to go look at his birthday, and he was born on the exact same day and same year as my child. You know, his mother had him on the same day I had my baby in the same year. And so it's so sad because he could have easily been my son, you know. And I was listening to his principal say that he was always respectful, to them. And that's normally how it happens, right? It seems like, and I don't know what he did in his everyday life, you know. I don't. But if he was sitting out on his porch, he was not, I keep saying that he was not a threat, to anyone. How you doing, Demon?
Hello, Tam. Hey, everybody in the chat. How's everybody this lovely evening?
Everybody is good. Well, I know that I am good. I'm glad to see you back up here on the panel, and I'm glad to be back.
I bet we're glad to have you back.
So, what do you think about this Jada Youngin situation?
I think Jada Youngan's situation, Tam, is sadly becoming an all too familiar story in our community with our young black men. And it's not just rappers, it's just every day. It seems to be every day we have our young brothers just being taken out at an alarming rate. Black men and women. But in his case, um, I would love to pick somebody's brain, maybe a younger uh, guy, and ask him, what is the beef really about? You know what I mean? Because to me, it seems to be manufactured. If he was a broke joker and didn't have nothing going on with his life, would he still be alive right now? You know what I mean? I mean, it seems as though as soon as you become successful and you make it out and you're making good money, you're able to provide for your family. Um, like I said before, it seems as though people intentionally start beef with you with the intent on taking your life. They want it to brew and fester into murder.
Mm-hmm. They do. They do. And it has nothing to do with anything really, I think, other than jealousy. Because as I was saying a little bit earlier, the beef that he had with those young men that took him out, I'm sure that was probably an ongoing beef. It probably didn't get to a tipping point to them until he started getting a buzz. It's
Yeah,
almost like when a person starts to, I don't know what's going on with these men. When a person starts to get big, they cannot control their emotions. A lot of them.
yeah. And you know what, Tam? I said it's the young boys and some of these grown, old, dusty, grown men that's contributing to probably 96% of the murders in our community. And they can't blame that on black women. You know, I know black women are blamed for maybe being set up girls or whatever the case, but you don't see women out here sliding every day, stalking and hunting somebody down to take their life. So, you know, I'm sorry, and I'm not trying to throw our culture under the bus, you know, but at the same time, it's our black men that's doing it, and not all black men. I'm talking about these street dudes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree. I agree. And you would think with them being on the street, they would be um more stable. Like their feelings wouldn't be so easy to hurt.
Yeah, yeah. So I said, what is it really about? What is it over? Words, territory, uh, jealousy, and to me, it just seems to be a combination of emotions, and the male ego literally is out of control. You know, everybody wants their ego fed,
Mm-hmm.
and if you say something I don't like, basically, you know, you just signed your own death certificate.
That's sad, right?
Yeah, sad.
Because like I said, the norm now. That's why the laws have to be stricter. Because you hear people now bragging online saying, "Well, you know, they do warn him. He told him to keep his mouth, not to say nothing else, and so that's why he did." As if a person has a right to do anything to you just because you say something to them. Like that's right.
Yeah, but like I say, you know, you get some people that will just automatically dislike you for whatever reason. It could be their own insecurities, their own shortcomings, and you know, I hear a lot of he wasn't feeding us, and you know, I have a real big problem with that. How do you blame another black man for not feeding you, and why would you depend on another man to feed you? Uh, for your sustenance. You know, you have to get out here. and grind and get it out the mud the same way they did, because nobody gave Jada Youngin nothing.
That's
You heard what his grandfather said. So he sit out on that porch till 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, working on his music. Everybody is not blessed with the talent to be able to make the money that these young men are making. And when they are blessed to be able to do that, you can't get mad at them. As they say, don't hate the player, hate the game.
absolutely. Thank you, Miss Denise, for the super chat. I mean, for the cash app. Thank you so much. You're right. Um, and to sneak up on him like that, and then shot his dad also. Because he
Yeah.
was sitting out on the porch. I hear people say, well, and I guess, well, not guess. I know you have to take precautionary measures, but there was nothing abnormal about him sitting on his porch. Am I right?
No, but obviously it was premeditated if you had some waiting on the side of the house. And then from what I understand, and maybe play a Cole and rest in peace, young Dolph, or somebody can correct me, from what I heard is that he and his dad was outside, a car pulled up, and then the two that were on the side of the house or the back of the house came around and let off shots. So to me, that's premeditation, because you already knew that that's what you were going to do, for you to even be hiding on the side of the house. Okay, so they were waiting on him to pull up, obviously, and or maybe not. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but for you to come from the side of the house, I mean, you were already planted there. So that seems like a premeditated hit. And then um, somebody else said he had a bag on his head. And I'm going to say something about these bags on people's heads. What is this new trend of getting up enough money to put bags on people's heads? What is this about? And it seems to be some kind of new millennium type of uh, trend. You know, uh, I don't
Mm-hmm.
understand why there's even enough money for you to even make you lose your freedom or your life. Because his dad popped back, and I think his dad got hit in the arm twice.
Wow. So his dad was shooting back?
Yeah, he shot back. He shot back, and I believe he got hit in his twice in his arm. And then Jada Youngin got hit 8 times, and they said he lost a lot of blood.
Oh, God.
Yeah, so he
So
was
he
hit
came,
eight
he
times.
definitely came to do a job. He made sure that
Yeah,
he
they
took
came.
him out.
They came to do a job. So my thing is, what was the
So
beef
was it
really
one
about?
person?
No, no, it wasn't. They said I think maybe two on the side of the house, and I don't know how many jumped out the car.
Oh,
But
God.
collectively, haven't heard that, so we know it was more than one person. It wasn't just no lone wolf out there, going to take somebody's life. This to me seems to be a similar to Dolph's case, a paid hit.
Right.
You can't get in position. That's almost like going to war. You put your men in position. And I'm kind of feeling like maybe that's what they did to Dolph. You put him in position. You got all these people out on the scene to make sure that the hit goes down, because obviously that's what was premeditated, and that was what was planned, was to take this young man's life.
Player Co says 5 dudes was shooting.
Wow. Rest in peace, young Dolph said, I think his dad got shot in the leg, and 3 in the car got dropped on back road, and the hospital was ill equipped to deal with his injuries. And by the time they airlifted him, he had lost a lot of blood.
Oh,
Wow.
my.
But just to know that this young man, is just gunned down. And I mean, they gunning each other down like dogs. I've even heard stories in my city, girl, where they shoot them once, and once they get them down, they stand over them, girl, and just pump lead all in their face and all in their body, like they're a dog. It's like a hunting
Well, you know
expedition.
what that comes from. Looking at these movies, and these people have not been able to our youth has not been able to disassociate what they're looking at on TV with reality. and they
Mm-hmm.
feel like that this is what they're supposed to do for a human to a human, and they feel like this is what makes them gangster. If not, and I don't know how, and I know they're down there in Louisiana, but if looking at how straight drop is and how in distress that he is, that should make
Mm-hmm.
anybody want to stop being a darn hitman. But these
Yeah.
kids don't look at it like that.
Yeah, they young and wild and carefree. They not living for tomorrow. They living for today. And just like James and Iris just said, taking a person's life can be empowering to some and as addictive as the most powerful drug in the world. And that's true. You hear a lot of them say, I got high taking his life. And that's why when you ask me if I think they losing sleep over taking Dolph's life, I said no. All of these young men, when they take their life, these cowards and these evil demons don't lose no sleep over that. If anything, they feel emboldened, especially if they get away with it. They feel emboldened, and that just makes them feel like they have power. So they keep doing it over and over and over again, and that's why I said too, and agreeing with you what you just said about the justice system. We need to stop having the justice system. Uh, just cut it out with the revolving doors. Get them in there, make them do 85% of their time, make them sit up in there 50 or 60 years. And see, that's going to send a message to the other ones that's contemplating getting out here, trying to be, as you say, a shade tree hitman.
Mm-hmm.
They on demon time, that's their motto. I'm on demon time. And it's this young generation. They just seem, like that's just the way to handle business. And then rest in peace, young Dolph said, when they getting promised millions by those wannabe CEOs, they don't care. No, they don't care.
Little Miss Muffet says, they just live for the moment, not thinking about the consequences until it's too late. That's true. They call it pain juicing or freaking when they seem desensitized to killing. They are definitely desensitized, and believe it or not, a lot of them are always. I think they look at, like you were saying a while back, they look at killing as a sport, and they
Yeah,
need to have beef with anybody so that they can kill them and say that I got bodies. That's the new trend. I got bodies.
yeah. Anytime somebody bump into you at the corner bodega and turn that into beef. It's like they look for a reason now to want to take your life, and that's just not rappers. That's everyday people, citizens like you and I. They look for a reason to want to come back and shoot up something or take somebody's life because um, these are thrill kills. I call them thrill kills.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's the drugs or what, but they definitely don't think twice and
No,
don't
they
have
don't.
a conscience about it.
I look at the pain in his grandfather's eyes. That man is hurt. Um, Anybody would be hurt. And they don't understand the devastation that they cause these families when you take these young men. I look at his little baby boy, just as cute as he want to be, cute as a button. But you taking these men away from their children, and I pray that the baby remembers his dad growing up. But nothing is the same as having your father here. Nothing is the same as having your mother here. Having memories is one thing, and when you're that young, um by the time you get 13, 14, 15, 20 years old, the memories are as not as good as they should be. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right. Uh, Hold on 1 second. I'm trying to see how many likes we got. Y'all, please hit the like button. If you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. They gonna
even
get
if
him
you
next.
even the people in the bushes, you can stick your hand out the bushes and hit the like button, please.
Rest in peace, Young Dolph says. Speaking of Dolph, youngsters been playing games with the disrespect. I see he dissed off on his birthday and 2 days ago on a new snippet. Yeah, I saw that. It's I don't know what to say about him.
But like I say, these guys that do all this dissing and everything, see, it's fun and games until either A, they get locked up, or B, they get taken up on out of here and sent to the upper room. Because, see, like I say, I always say this, your mama going to cry one day.
Mm-hmm.
One day. Same way you made somebody else's mama cry, your mama going to cry for you too. In some capacity, be it at your grave site or at your funeral, your jail sentence.
That's true. Now they said that I was looking for the video where it was. They said that the feds actually raided his funeral or something.
No, I don't know if it was rated. I know that they had a heavy police presence at the funeral. I guess to make sure that everything remained calm and peaceful. But I think a friend of his, rest in peace, Young Dolph, or somebody was saying that a friend of his went out to go spin and actually got arrested. So he was
Mm-hmm.
denied bail.
Oh my! They
Yeah,
say
that just
they say he had an open casket. Of course,
wow.
there are videos floating around of his of everything.
Oh, okay. Rest in peace, Young Dolph. They did try to arrest Young and Ace at his funeral. I thought they Young and Ace didn't attend the funeral because I don't know, maybe that was my mistake. They got Ace Youngin at his service. So they arrested him at the service at his funeral. Wow. And Youngin Ace was the one that put that message out about how I guess they weren't speaking at the time or something, and how he wanted to call him, but it was just their pride getting in the way, and how he'd give anything to, have a chance to be with, talk to him again. Um, and I'm gonna tell you something, Tamara. When I see it's a lot of these young men that could be cool with each other, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of them that could be cool with each other, but they let their egos and let people get in their ear and turn them against the people they were once cool with, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So Young and Ace was a pallbearer, Catalea, but he still got arrested at the funeral then. What did he get arrested for, guys? Did he have a warrant or something?
Uh, Catalina, you coming up? Because I need to do something right quick. Catalina, can you come up? With Dima, he did attend. He carried the casket, and they didn't lock him up, but they searched his car to see what's guns in his car.
But he didn't have anything. I think I read that where they searched his car, but they didn't find anything. Is that correct? Rest in peace, Young Dolph. They didn't find anything. He was at. He was a pallbearer. Why was he arrested? Oh, I don't think he was arrested then. I guess they're just saying that they searched his car. But why were they searching his car? I mean, wasn't it other people there? Why would they pick him to search his car at the funeral? Unless they got some intel. I'm gonna tell you something. When people think people not out here talking, dropping information,
Those be the
they are.
ones, don't it?
They be the ones, yes, ma'am. Because somebody, put the people on him for them to even search his car. Why would
That's
you pick him out of hundreds of funeral attendees to search his car? Oh no, they just questioned him and asked if he knew anything about the situation. Yeah, Jacqueline, but why would they do it at the funeral? They could have got up with him uh, after the hit, or before the funeral. After the funeral was over, to ask him about that. They looking for retaliation weapons. Yeah, I hear you.
hold on, you guys. I'll be.
Go
Oh,
ahead.
Hold on. How you doing, Catalea?
I'm good. How about yourselves? How y'all doing this evening?
I'm doing good.
Good,
What we were
good.
just talking about this Jada Youngin situation. What do you think about him losing his life so early?
It's really sad that he was cut down in his prime, but as I was saying in the comments, it's such a um it's a combination of things that led to his death, and it's just really sad. You know, it can come from any direction at this point, but he was really carrying the weight um of that whole just inherited beef, the street beef, and then among other things on top of being a rapper. And it was just unfortunate that he was mowed down. But a lot of things played into his death, a lot of factors.
Do you think his dad, whatever his dad had going on out here, kind of trickled down to
Yeah.
him?
Yes, because I think he covered for his dad a lot because he was real close to his dad. Yeah.
Wow.
So I think a lot of things he covered for it, and he had allegedly a strained relationship with his mother. It's just a bunch of it's a lot of family dynamics and just opposing affiliation that has gone on somewhere. I'm not sure when it was. Vlad, you know how he is. He released a interview, or he talked about. He didn't release it. Let me make that correct. He talked about when he interviewed him, the mic wasn't completely turned off, and I guess Jaden was Jaden. I call him Jaden. He had a like a meltdown or was crying, saying he didn't feel loved, or it was just a lot going on in his life, and you know that he
Hmm.
didn't portray in the interview. But to hear him have that breakdown gave him a better insight of per se what was going on in his personal life, because he did have mom issues. But I think he covering for his dad. It's just you kind of caught in the middle when you're a kid.
Yeah, because he's still a baby. 24
Yeah,
years old. He's still a baby.
yeah, and he was just saying that let him know that from that little clip there that the pressure of just feeling a love, trying to make everybody happy. The mom wanted a bigger house. She wanted she just want how when people just want
Yeah,
when
yeah. He the breadwinner.
he the
Hmm.
breadwinner. Then you got your girlfriend. She's sleeping with somebody allegedly, baby mama. It's just so many things that played into it, and that he was doing as a young man, that that just it just complicated his life.
Yeah,
It,
that's sad.
yeah, it was real. To me, that's real. It was real sad, and so. But just hearing him speak, you could tell he was like a good kid. Like he said, he wanted to be a basketball player, but he just couldn't keep his, keep stay on the straight and narrow to do that. So the next thing was, becoming a rapper. But you know what comes with that. But I seen a clip of him about to freestyle a little bit before he started, or maybe it was a video, but you could tell he had like rhythm, like a natural rhythm, like setting a tone. He was a real good, it sounded like he was a good kid. He had a bunch of baggage.
Yeah. Sometimes your family structure will do that to you. You know what I
Right.
mean? And then, of course, once you start making money and you become famous and making a name for yourself, everybody want to eat off your plate.
Right.
And he
Right.
didn't doesn't seem like he had the uh, solid support system that he
Right.
needed. Hmm.
And yeah, and he was on the perks real bad. You could tell, or he almost scratched himself out his skin. Um, on that, on the little, I'm reading the comments. Did my
Yeah,
young
I
west,
see that.
and yeah, he was on perks real bad and lean. I mean, he almost scratched himself out of his skin. He was trying hard to not to, but I guess you can tell. And I was just like, bless his heart, because he sounded so well. But if you didn't have a visual and just heard him speak, you would just think, oh man, that was a good interview. But to see his body language, you knew what he was fighting against. He still spoke well, but that moving around, the fidgeting, the scratching,
Hmm.
It just lets
Yeah.
just lets you know that it was just more to it, or more
There's
to him.
so many of these young men are hooked on perks now.
And then they're not even the real ones. On top of that, some of them may be getting the real ones, but they're not getting the ones that you would normally get. So it's just, it's really just sad. It's really sad. But he
Rest in
had a,
peace. Young Dolph said, just go listen to his last snippet a day before he died. He said, in my sleep, this stuff gets creepy. Seeing my ops come up and run down on me. He was talking about when he got shot at and his dad got shot.
hmm
These kids suffer from PTSD too.
right,
When you are out here in these streets and then people attempting to take your life, or you've seen people around you lose their life. I can't imagine the amount of sleepless nights that they have,
right,
and the PTSD that's associated with that.
right. And then on top of the fact of you trying to hold strong for your family, covering for your dad, the things that he was into allegedly, so much just came with that. So yeah, I can just imagine that alone would just have. It's just that's why I say it was just a mix of volatile, a volatile combination and mixture of things that just led to him being, like you say, having PTSD issues, just being paranoid, making him probably overuse the drugs more than he probably would normally do. It was just it makes you paranoid. You can tell that he was
Rest,
paranoid in some things that he did. You could just
rest,
see it.
rest in peace. Young Dolph said he got shot at a week before at the Freaknik. I didn't know
Hmm.
that.
Yeah, he did. I
You think it
forgot.
was the same people? Rest in peace, Young Dolph, or was it a different group, a different set? You know, and the sad thing about it, when people are attempting to take your life, sometimes you don't know where it's coming from, especially if you just got different groups of haters. You know what I mean? So that's just really sad. And he said, all I can say, NBA young boy, people been dissing him, but that wasn't they work. He been having smoke in his city. He say it in plenty of songs. He said,
Hmm.
yeah, it was the same people that shot at him at the Freaknik.
Where they say that it allegedly came from, I'm not going to even say it because I wouldn't want to believe it. But yeah, it would. Even though they tried to point it at NBA, yeah, that was it wasn't
What was
allegedly.
him
NBA
and
need to.
NBA young boy beefing about?
Who? Well, I think he slept with, or allegedly slept with, or talked to one of his baby mothers. That's from what I know. Or maybe they had a beef, and then him messing with the baby mother made it even worse. If that makes sense. I don't know
Well,
which
hell, he
came
got so
first.
many different baby mamas. Hell, if he ain't with them, what he think they supposed to sit up and twiddle their thumbs?
Right.
Because he got mad
Right.
at King Von for sleeping with that girl.
Right.
Oh,
I think it's
yeah.
the same girl. So I'm not sure which one came first. Did they start beefing because of the girl, or they was beefing and then the girl came along? I'm not sure. But
But NBA YoungBoy need to sit down and stop using other folks' urine, fake urine, because he failed his drug test anyway. So he need to. I mean, really, he need to take care of his own business. Stop worrying about these baby mamas that he not even with anymore.
right.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, he not the fake urine.
girl. Yeah, think
Mm,
he thought he was pulling an old slickster.
right. That's so funny because I know a guy here in my city. He used someone's fake urine, and they was like, "Well, the bad news is you didn't get the job." And he was like, "Oh man," they was like, "But we got some great news for you." And he was like, "What?" He was like, "You pregnant?" He had used the female. Yeah, that she was pregnant. He didn't know. They was like, "You pregnant?" And he was a man. There, that should go down like that. Why do that?
Rest in peace, Young Dolph said, told you dude with big money had bags on his head, his own city. No, and he hit NBA baby mom,
Yeah.
and him and NBA was cool at first, but NBA got mad at him about a song, and he put it all out about NBA baby mom.
Yeah, see, just it's stuff like
It's
that.
stupid. But see,
It's
it's just
yeah,
stupid.
these men are taking other men's lives about baby mamas that they don't even treat right.
Right.
Exactly.
And it's the same play. I mean, and yeah, they just the baby mothers. They was trying to. It's just that's why I say it's so many ways that it could have been or came from because it's just a vast character or cast of people in this case.
Yeah, it
I'm
sure is.
it really is. I'm telling you, Republican, that is true. They told him he was pregnant. Congratulations, but he didn't get the job.
And the
So
feds on his family so bad because they was fin
you know,
to Rico him in his camp for Roughway and 23.
see, it's that's why it's so volatile. It's so much going on within this story that
Wow.
it just yeah, it's just a lot going on. A lot. So you can never per se you can never per se say that it came from this direction where it was so many things coming at once that it was just they was just sitting on them almost just
Yeah, but
waiting.
I kind of feel like this too, ladies. My personal opinion is that there needs to be a cross country sweep of Ricos at this point because these guys have gotten away with being serial killers for so long.
Hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
like I said, the revolving door of the justice system has allowed them to go in and get out, go in and get out. And every time they get out, they hook up with the same crew, go out and take the lives of new victims. And it's just a never ending cycle.
Right.
So my personal opinion is that, there needs to be some kind of cross country sweep, start opening up these old cases, get these fools talking, start offering them deals or do whatever you got to do to start bringing closure and some justice to these families that are losing these young men and
Well,
women.
and it takes so long, because at least with the feds, you got to make sure their cases for the most part are airtight. So it takes a minute for you to build that up, prove it, do this and do that, and in between that, it's stuff still happening, and then that adds on to it. So it's a hard thing, but I do agree that the sweep will probably take off a lot, but then you will probably be surprised that the sweep will probably involve the same people, but just they have different people in different cities doing their thing, but it's still the same affiliations at some point.
Yeah.
It's just it's just wow, but in order to have that high conviction rate, it takes time. You got to let them do the crime, commit it several times. You got to do this, you got to prove that. And in between, they steady doing what they going to do. And, which is maybe more crime, more this, more that. And it's almost like damned if you do and damned if you don't. But, when they come, they got something solid.
Florida Two Pistol says spread the Rico like they spread that code like they did the COVID.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
He said after he got shot, his killers posted, "Pick your man's up. My mama good because they mom got killed by Jay best friend."
Mm-hmm.
So Jay best friend
What?
almost killed one
Yeah.
of the opposing side's moms.
Mm, yeah, that's why I say it's so just it's hectic. It's hectic. That hunting, that's another thing. I think they think that's cute when they get on social media and then they taunt. But I'm thinking if I just committed a crime like that, I would get somewhere and sit down. Because you're gonna eventually it's gonna catch up to you. But it's like they want to get that attention. That's part of our. It seems like they're still in the thrill of the moment of that gratification, and they just go and post on social media, not realizing that draws them to them faster. It's
Well,
it's weird.
that's part of clout chasing. Of course, they got to solidify their dirty deed by clout chasing and letting the world know that that's their work.
Right.
Because you can't get credit, you can't get clout if you don't confirm that it's your work.
Mm,
You can't chase clout and get clout
right.
off somebody else's work. So yeah,
Denise
they got to
says
claim it.
Denise says these rap labels have become organized crime and it has changed everything. That's true. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that.
Yeah, I believe that as well.
I
Just
think they strategically. I don't know if if it was this way with Jada Youngin, but I think they strategically sign these young men that are already in beefs or out
mm-hmm.
in the street real tough
Right.
Yeah.
because they figure they will already have a op,
Mm-hmm.
and it only enhances it if he got a op, and then he starts to get some recognition and make some money.
Right.
We see how
Hmm.
grimy and jealousy is how people deadly they get when they get jealous.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And but I guess maybe because I just was thinking that maybe it's the age bracket. Because I'm like, if you're gonna do something, get somewhere and sit down, and then. But I guess it's just the mind frame.
No, they got to post music videos out the graveyards and get on
Right.
Twitter
Yeah,
and
I would. It's not
they
so much that
posting
I'm
everything about
hiding
it.
from the fact that I did it, because I mean, if you know you did it, if you did it, but why go and just automatically taunt? You instantly taunt, or just try to lead people on to suspect that you may have been the one that did it, or look at me, because look where it got dropped now. Like Miss Tam said, his eyes went when they was bragging. His eyes told it all. Like, while they were saying it, it's just you bring so much more attention to yourself when you can kind of lay low, let things clear. You could have probably did this, did that, but you're so busy trying to get the social media to stamp it that you call instantly. You might as well just do it and just wait for the police to get there. It just
Well,
let
Cole says him and his ops was signed to the same label, Peep Game. Wow,
right. That is true.
that's a strategy for real.
Rest in
Mm-hmm.
peace, young Dolph said. That's why the feds picked him up a day before the funeral. And he had dropped a song saying they killed my main man's. Now I got 20 on his noggin. The feds already knew.
They know. And so you
Wow.
see, they just picked them up, just for what. But it's like, if you just sit there and be quiet, not saying you shouldn't or you couldn't. I'm not saying that if you whatever you decide to do, but I'm saying you should use discretion, unless you just have nothing left to live for. But once you do it, you might as well wait there and sit there for the police to come. The police to get there. If you're gonna put it on social media immediately or start taunting, you might as well, as the coroner coming to get the body, let the police pick you up. That's two and one.
Well, see, we have to do the analysis of the number of street beef crimes that have actually been solved and how much effort has been put into solving these crimes. So,
Mm-hmm.
when these guys feel like, oh, well, so and so didn't get caught, they knocked dude off 5, 10 years ago. He's still out here walking free, uh, because they kind of feel like law enforcement don't care if it's happening in the black community. I think that's the mentality that they have. They kind of
Mm-hmm.
feel like, they're not investigating in no way because it happened in the hood. Same way like with Duck. In my
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, if he hadn't got killed in the Gold Coast, I don't know if that would have turned into a federal case. But
Right.
because he was killed in the Gold Coast where the property taxes are through the roof and people paying X amount of dollars to live in that area. Now, had he got killed in the hood, would they have gone as hard to try to solve that case? I probably will say no.
You
So,
don't think
we have to
so?
remember, no, I don't. I
Mm-hmm.
really feel like, a lot of these crimes happen in the inner city, in the poor neighborhoods, or just in predominantly black neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
And these guys that are losing their lives are young black men. I don't know if in every city, if they're being thoroughly investigated. And I think that's why a lot of them go unsolved. And then when they do solve them, by the time they say they've named somebody for the crime, that person already dead. It's like,
Right.
well, what the hell? We don't need. We needed you to solve it before they died. We wanted to see justice before they died, not after they dead.
But
Mm-hmm.
see, that's why I was saying some people who are really, really steppers, if they use your services, sometimes they get rid of you right afterwards. So you can't talk.
That's
So
true.
a lot, that's why I was saying real steppers get rid of what they need to get rid of when they need to get rid of them if they think you are not going to be solid after the death,
Re-
after that murk to me.
Rest in peace, young dog says. That's why I said if Key Glock would have got Gotti touched, he would be locked up right now. Of course, all eyes
Mhm.
was definitely on that,
Mhm.
Yeah,
and still
yeah,
is.
and still
Right.
is, and
Right.
still is. People want to them to. I don't understand people way of thinking. I don't know why people think that all people that slide and all things that happen out in the streets got to be stamped and said on social media.
Right.
Like Catalea said, you got some real steppers out here that's not even on social media. That when
Right.
they gonna touch you, you have to guess who did it because they
Right.
not gonna tell you who. They're not gonna get out here and say anything. And
Mhm.
they playing their cards. You know what I mean? They know how to play their
Right.
cards.
Cause their thing is not social media. If you're a real stepper, your thing is not social media. That's what you do. You step. You're not trying to bring that attention to yourself or to whoever you stepping for, or did even serial killers like Ted Bundy. They worked alone. I mean, they it's a method to a madness if you're a killer. Now they're crazy and they have their issues, but they tend to have a certain MO. A real killer tends to have a certain MO. Now, and that's just my personal opinion. Now, if they got on social media and just did their own thing like nothing happened, and then even like just posted themselves eating, I could see that would be like, now that's a crazy person when you found out who it was. But to just pretty much name yourself the person, that's insane to me as well. But
D
it,
Nice, I agree with you. You said you notice now these rappers are named by their street gang and they basically name their labels from their street gang. They ain't
mm,
changing up their mentality, just getting money off of rap. And I agree with that. Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Two Pistol says they need to lock these dudes up like they locking up this gas.
Right. True Love Four Way, Heavy Camp. Hope y'all listening. Real killers don't post on the internet.
They
No,
don't.
they not listening. Rest in peace, young dog. They not trying to hear that.
They
They
don't.
got to get the clout. They too thirsty for clout.
I
Yeah.
think that's why I say it's part of the gratification of the kill that they have to do that. But I'm thinking if it was who does like nobody does that. That's like I mean, I don't know. Maybe like I said, maybe it's a new thing. But why do they have to stamp it on social media? For the life of me.
Because that's the platform where most of the brain dead people follow them. They want to see that. Because I've said before, people like to hear and see murder and mayhem. It's entertainment for them. And that's
Mhm.
how I know that these people aren't true fans. A true fan wouldn't want to see somebody get hurt, lose their life, or go to jail. You know
Right.
what I mean? But, when these things happen, they are all inclusive,
All right.
listening to the fake and the real. They love
Mhm.
it. They love to follow the BS after the aftermath of it because it gives them something to talk about and it gives them purpose in life. When you're living your life vicariously through other people, um, that's really sad. It's really sad on so
Mhm.
many levels.
It's almost like it's a gladiator sport. Like they watching it for them. They want to see it or watch it for fun. Like they're just spectators watching. But I
Yeah,
take that
yeah,
back to the video games and all this whatever people play.
yeah.
I'm not a video head, but I see hear the things that, how gamers act, and they're such used to real time killing or stimulation of killing that they just want that all the time. It's just a spectator sport for them. So
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense that they want to see it in real time or something of it in real time.
that's right. Player Cole says,
Right,
I know real killers, they never talk about their work
right.
to nobody. This
Thank you.
real, like not GTA.
Right.
Exactly.
I agree with you, Player Cole. It's some people, if you a real, they families will be like, we never knew.
Yeah,
You,
they out here killing people, girl, like they at the damn arcade.
mm-hmm.
You know,
If you're a professional, you're not gonna just be telling everybody what you doing.
yeah. How you think the mafia, the Italian mafia, got away with so many hits back in the day? You
Right.
know, when they did drive-bys or did what they had to do, they went and knocked them off and kept it moving.
And then they even kept one that they didn't even tell nobody about, that they sent on special assignments that nobody even knew about. They
But
always kept them one that they didn't that no one knew.
yeah,
Uh,
but like I say, they keep doing it because there have been no real consequences.
right.
Once the justice system really started tightening up and handing down these life sentences and really let them know that you guys not running the streets, we are. I think a
Mm-hmm.
lot of this will stop, but there hasn't really been a whole lot of uh, hard time done in a lot of these murders.
Right.
You know, we basically got a bunch of serial killers roaming amongst us in the black community.
Right.
Um, Republican says they've been killing people and bragging about it for years. It just wasn't getting out that much yet because we didn't have internet like we do now. That's true. I agree.
Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. And
Just
they
like the injustices that you hear a lot of people talk about as far as the police, or the brutality with some officers, um, of course, stuff like that has been going on for years too, but it's just
mm-hmm.
getting out more, because you have cameras and things of that nature where you're able to document stuff
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
like that.
And it's getting worse. So that's why they're going to have
Mm-hmm.
to do something about it because it's just getting worse. It seems like every other day or every week, we got a new uh, entertainer being taken out.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And it's sad. It's like they wait good until they are signed and on their way.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it's something about that, and I don't doubt it's the ops and jealousy, but it's just something about that don't sit right with me. I'm sure that if they're ops, they didn't just become ops overnight. They probably have been ops for a very long time. What makes them decide, after this person starts to blow up, that they just can't live no more?
I don't know.
Is there some motivation with the ops other than jealousy to do it?
Right.
Like, is there money behind it?
And sometimes it's money, and then sometimes it's just people, just the personal satisfaction of just knowing that, yeah, I didn't like that person, and they gone, and I'm happy with it. Cause you always find one flunky who say they just did it just because.
Clerico says can't beat them, so they get them gone, and that is what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when as it relates to anything, when you see that people are dogmatic and they are insistent on, if you see that there's going to be issues, and I know a lot of these young men, they don't believe in going to the law or anything like that, but I really wish that they would. I really wish that they would change their tune, because once you start getting stuff documented, a lot of times, and I know that's unheard of with them. but it's better than losing your life.
Yeah. But some of them feel like they dead men walking anyway. So I might as I don't have any hope. Might as well do it like this. I'm gonna do it, have it done like this. Is the when you sit down and talk to them, their way of thinking is like it's almost backwards. Like they say, it's like they hustling backwards.
It's like they hopeless.
Right. That's the perfect word, Dima. Hopeless.
Yeah. You ask a lot of them, where do you see yourself in 5 years? They say dead or locked up.
But what's funny is not funny. I shouldn't say funny. In that same Vlad interview, I think he asked Jaden um some about when he was 30, and the look on his face was like, I he was looking like 30. He had to think about it because I don't think he saw himself as even ever making it to 30.
Yeah,
He
a lot of them don't.
he
A
didn't
lot of them don't.
he was like kind of thrown by it in his face. I looked at it and I was like, he don't
And
even
30
think.
is a young age, and that's
Hmm.
sad.
He couldn't even wrap his mind around the concept of being alive at 30. So he couldn't answer the question because
See,
that was a foreign concept to him at that moment.
but see, for us being, you know, law abiding, everyday working citizens, working class citizens, for somebody to tell me that I wouldn't be around at 30, girl, I probably would have lost my mind. You know what I mean?
All right.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, say you 23, 24 years old, and then somebody make an announcement to you saying, well, you won't be here by the time you get 30. I would literally lose my mind because I would be, wait a minute, I got too much to do. I've got so much to offer,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why I say that this just seems hopeless with them. They don't see themselves being alive at a
Right.
certain age, and that's why it seems like they just it's like 40 going north.
Right.
They're going through life at a high rate of speed.
Right.
Jeff Lee got a good question. He says, I have a serious questions. How did we blacks get here? I'm still trying to figure out how we got so bad. I definitely know it was engineered.
Right. I do agree with. I was about to say it's socially engineered to a point, and the rest of it is, I think, you just go off what they know, their environment, all they know. you know, because I mean, not to throw a name on his mom and dad, they were affiliated in the gang world. He was born into it. That's all he knows. So for him, that's why I say the inherited beef, just being born into it. You just, it's like you almost marked when you were born,
Yeah, making money and being successful doesn't help
right?
because they just make them hate you even more.
Right, and then the access that you have, the things you can get that you would normally have to hustle and hide and get. Here goes somebody you can send in. It's just, it's just so much. It's really sad. It's really sad. But that's a good question. I think that the two paths really, some people, it's a hard path for some, easy for others, and some they just don't make it.
But I'm gonna tell you something: being born into that type of lifestyle or not, um, sometimes you have to kind of question the parents' movement because even if he was born into it, you're supposed to protect your namesake at all costs and
Right.
protect them from all of that. You know what I mean? Uh, Move them out the city, move them somewhere else. Don't introduce them to that lifestyle. Don't, and that's why it's important not to let your kids see what you do.
Right.
That's why I think a lot of times these kids see too much. They grow up too fast, and they see too much.
Right. when that, I think it's a line I want to say from Gotti, one of his songs, where he said, "I know some women that's more harder than you niggas." Excuse the word, but basically that was kind of the case in like his mom's and his mom were not Gotti but Jaden. His mom was real deep, so that's kind of where his like that trouble part came in. And when your mama is hard as the average street person, that makes it hard. When you are and you a guy and your mama harder than you almost, or can make moves or been it, that's yeah.
Yeah,
It's
you got a lot of these guys that were born to queen pins.
right.
You know what I mean? So, it's a lot of OGs out here that queen pins back in the day.
Hmm. And they so young, they still are in it.
Yeah,
So it's kind of like it's a when once again the catch 22.
It
What you supposed to
is.
do? That's why they were saying when he was crying in the interview because he was so conflicted. He wasn't getting it fast enough for the people that he felt mattered. His mom wanted to, she thought she should be in a bigger house. She should have had this. She should, she wanted this, but not realizing he just starting out. And you know how it go. And if that's the case, why hadn't you did it in the field that you were in?
right.
Right.
He'd only been in the game for maybe 3 years, about 3, 4 years.
They
Right.
said since 2017.
Right. And they've been doing what they doing for a minute. Why didn't y'all provide that lifestyle for your own self versus betting it on him? As a
Well,
parent, you were supposed to provide that. Not, he should have enhanced it, not give it to you all, unless that was his thing. But that's where people get a lot of things twisted.
Well,
yeah.
how the mentality go. Everybody wants to eat off the breadwinner, but when it comes time to really protect them and have their backs, and I mean not just in a violent situation. I'm just talking about overall. You're supposed to covet your breadwinners and
Right.
make sure that they good at all times.
I agree with you.
Mentally, physically, and everything else.
And I agree with Player Code. Parents got to stop being friends with their kids. It's just some things you just don't do with your children. I don't care how cool you think you are or whatever it is you do. Y'all could be doing the same thing, but I wish I would partake with my mother on certain things. Just not gonna do it. And she reminded me and my elders, I'm not your friend. I don't care
Hmm.
how grown you are, how you we are not friends. My uncle had a saying, you cannot outgrow me, no matter how old you are. You cannot outgrow me. So they let me know. I learned that early in life. We not friends. I'm not your homeboy. Whoever the hell homeboy is, I'm not your friend. I'm not that. So get it straight in your mind.
But the
Miss
flip
Laura
side of that,
says that it is what the young people have seen when they was little, the violence in their environment, and they become a product. That's true.
That's true. That's true. That's so true.
Denise says, "Do you know how much we can do if all of us would come together?" But I'm going to be honest. I'll give up on my people. I never give up on my people, but it just seems that we keep growing apart as Black people. It's crazy, but it's jealousy within the community.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's,
jealousy.
it's jealousy. And just imagine you leaving a jealous community to go into an even jealouser community, meaning the rap industry. And it's like, no what it's like you left one where you go to another and it's like, man, like so where do you find someone where's a safe place? You gotta almost create it to a point, but you gotta create it how if you don't know, if you didn't come from that, you gotta, he was a young man. He was still, I always was taught you keep your 20s to yourself. Cause what you like when you 20, you ain't gonna like when you 30, 35. And what you progress. So it's just Yeah, it's just really sad because a lot of them don't know. They just think, I want to make music. I got this talent. Or I feel like I have this talent. I want to do this. I want to do that, and they think it's their way out. And
But
sometimes it's literally their way out
well,
because
that's
they like,
true. They go into it with virgin eyes. Number
mm-hmm,
one, they don't know the business.
mm-hmm,
They know that they can make some money, but they don't know how exactly it's gonna come because they don't
right,
know the business.
right,
They just know that they're supposed to make some, and that's a dangerous thing.
right.
'Cause you'll end up being a slave if you don't know the business part.
Or somebody's, you know what? It's really, I don't know if in good faith, if I didn't have the money or the ways or the means to finance my child or my help them in some way get their dream as much as they could, get their dream fulfilled as much as they could or as we could without involving having a backer or investor until it was time, I would I would do that because I don't know if I could send my child into entertainment. Not just even rap, just entertainment period in good faith knowing what goes on. And I
I
can't
was looking at a podcast of another young brother that's on YouTube, and he had a young lady on there that is actually really tight in the music industry. And she was talking about the amount of money it takes to even get started
mm-hmm.
in the music
Okay.
industry. And, my thing is, if you think you're just getting ready to uh, write a song and put a beat to it and say it's a hit and people bopping to it, it takes a whole lot more than that.
Right.
And when these young boys are coming in flat broke, having to depend on their investors' money to
Mm-hmm.
get into the game, I think that's where a lot of it starts too.
Right. Because
You
people
know,
want to see a return on their investment, and some people want to see it quickly, and some people don't mind just saying, "Oh, and when you get it or when you make it, just remember me." But some people want their ROI, return on investment. They want it back as soon as you get it, almost. Like remember who helped you, remember who gave you this, and it's like you don't know that, but you just attached yourself to someone else who you owe now. So it's just
well, that's what Florida Two Pistols just commented. He said they feed you, fatten you up, they make them think that they owe them something so that they can send them out on dummy missions.
mm-hmm,
Absolutely.
Hmm.
right. Yeah, they fatten you up before they kill,
I
He
whichever
mean,
said,
way
they
it is.
they know that they're excited riding in those rented private planes, um, those rented cars. Because a lot of those cars, if you go back and look at some of Tupac's mother's interviews, she talked about all the cars that Suge Knight gave Tupac. They were in his name.
Mm-hmm,
mm-hmm.
that's true. And I definitely agree, player code. He said you gotta have the right people around you before you get in the game. That's true. You gotta
Hold on,
get
y'all.
have
I'll be
somebody.
back. Y'all can
Okay.
continue, and I'll be back.
Okay.
Fab, Florida Two Pistols, I didn't see that. He said Fabo said he signed a deal for 100K and was broke in a week.
I can believe that.
Who gave him a deal for 100,000?
Now that I don't know, but I can believe he was broken a week
That's
if he
almost
got it.
comical to me that somebody even so don't he owe that money back to somebody? If you sign a deal for 100K and you're not producing and you broke in a week, how you gonna get them their money back? Because you gotta owe them. You gotta owe them.
You gotta get creative.
Well, he done about burnt himself up out here on these platforms,
Right.
throwing folks under the bus. So I don't know who would even want to mess with him at this point.
Right. Well, that's not the best way to get the money back being on here, unless
Yeah,
it was a good
girl.
way,
He
but
he he could rap. He can't even rap the ABC right now. So okay, moving right along. The
yeah,
younger generation not o- or scared of anything. Not older people, wisdom, jail, dying.
they
They
be
be
so
so
strung out.
strung. Strung out. Yeah, I don't know. I think Deborah talking into her phone.
Yeah.
Strung out. Okay.
Right. Yeah. I mean, but you know what? They were. I was always taught that you either you have a reverence for something, and it's not that you make it an idol, but you just have a healthy respect for it. Meaning your elders, your wisdom. If they telling you something, this it's not that they trying to run your life, but they telling you, hey, I see something that you don't see just yet. It might not mean nothing to you today, but maybe 5 months later or a year later, you might see that, oh, I seen what they meant when they told me that, but they don't have a healthy reverence for things now. It's either I don't even know what it is or what it ain't in these young people minds these days because they so fickle fackle that they don't even know. They don't know their purpose.
Well, the saying goes that if you uh, stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. And,
Right.
when you don't stand up for your own freedom and your own liberties
Right.
and allow someone to be able to coax you into doing dummy missions, that's basically saying, I'm not able to provide and make a way for myself. So if you're able to do that for me, then I'll do whatever it is you want me to do. I'm willing to crash out just so I can be able to eat,
Right.
and it shouldn't be that way. Basically, it's always best to be independent and make a way for yourself. He says the rap labels offering this upfront money is a way to feed into a lot of young black folks' mindset. They want the money before they put in the work. So they end up selling themselves instead. Yeah, I believe that.
Hmm. And it's
And that's
almost like,
exactly what's happening.
yeah, that's it. Yeah.
That's what's happening. They feel like that's the easy route, but
Hmm.
they destroying lives, and they ultimately destroying their lives because they're not going to get away with it.
Right.
They feel like it's easier. I never thought that I would live to see the day where a bunch of human beings feel like it was easy. It's easier to just take somebody out. But I mean, it's something going on within our community, and it's
Hmm.
definitely in the black community. Look at the griminess even on YouTube.
Right. And I think,
Where
like you said,
anytime.
they get so amped up and geeked up on drugs that they almost are out of their mind when they do those things. When if they do something grimy or they feel so bad if they commit a grimy act, they just they overcoat themselves into, oh, I'll just go do this and I or buy this or I'll do whatever and I'll feel better. Not just accepting the fact that, hey, I need to accept this flaw for what I done or accept the fact of what I got into and try to get out of it the best way I can unscathed, or till I can get a better deal or I can make better decisions or get around, it you around people who can help me make better decisions, but they just go crash mode like off the top. It seemed like it's just they crashing out. It's like they not even rappers. They just crash dummies. They
Well,
signing up
the
crashing.
problem is that they have basically turned the rap industry and the promise of becoming famous and getting all this money. It's almost like hitting the lottery. So
Right.
to me, they basically essentially have turned the rap game into the new lottery. Okay. Uh, the who's who, and if you in, you in, and if you rubbing elbows with certain labels or certain people in the industry, then you basically in there.
Right.
And so, it sets the precedence for all of these young cats that's out here left in the hood that want to get out of the hood. So they hustle that much harder to hone in on their craft so that they can basically make it in the industry. But see, like Player Cole said, you still got to have the right people around you.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't care how talented you are and how much your heart is set on being in the industry,
Right.
sometimes that may not be a good move for
Right.
you. And I often say too, everybody wants to be a rapper, but what happened to maybe looking at another avenue, like being a producer, a writer, a songwriter, or beats
See,
producer. You know, there's a
that's
lot of
just
other
as
avenues.
political. I think that's just as political.
Right. I was just about to
Also,
say it's the
because
same.
when
It's
a
the
lot
same
of these
thing.
artists write songs, they actually they get completely raped. You know, they
Hmm.
have these artists writing hit songs, and they'll go, if somebody like Beyonce, she
Right.
licensed the whole song really without paying them because she feels like her and Jay-Z feel like, you know what, once we recommend you, you're gonna
Hmm.
start getting people to call you, and so they basically don't get paid.
But
Hmm.
see,
That's how they doing them.
I'm talking about in terms of, say, like in Dolph's uh, young Dolph type of business acumen. And I'm talking about in the sense of staying independent. You know, get your own beat producers, your own songwriters, or your own rappers, your own label, your own distribution, so that you don't get raped and robbed. You know what I mean? So I guess I'm speaking in terms of starting your own, making your own way
And you know,
to independence.
and it sounds so good. It sounds good, but most people know that even when you're starting a business, whether you're rapping or you're starting just a regular business, they tell you for at least expect about the first 5 or 6 years, you're not gonna per se be rich unless you have just certain something that just comes off, off the top, and it just goes crazy. Most people feel like they don't have that time, so that's why they either do one or two things: they steady still in the street trying to make it and do this, or they go ahead and sign that deal because they feel like, I got a window before it kind of closes where I'm not relevant, and they don't look at the other aspects of, they just feel like I got to get it. I need to get it. I'm gonna do whatever I can to get it because 5 years sounds like it's a long way
But
from.
there's still other entities, you know. Let's just take music off the table. Let's just say, you know, just being a black business owner
Owner.
or just being an investor. It's still so many other avenues that these young men can go down and break into without having even have to deal with the music industry. You know what I mean? If you were on the street, let's say you're a young cat and you out here trapping every day, and you know you getting all this bread off the street. I'm not understanding why they don't take this bread that they accumulating off the street and go get them some legitimate businesses going so they can get out the game.
Well, if you're
Why
not
do
the
you
head
stay
hunch,
in it?
go
Go
ahead.
ahead, Carlisle.
I was just gonna say, if you're not the head honcho, and this is statistically proven, it's a book called Freakonomics. The average drug dealer, meaning your corner boy, not your big man, makes about $8.50 to $10 an hour. They still live at home with their mom for the most part. They don't have money like that when you break it down. You may sell a lot of dope or whatever you may be doing, or selling or hustling, but when you break it down, take it, do this, pay out, and go to the boss, you don't have much. There's what you think you have. And that's like proven unless you are in an upper position. And so that's just breaking down it, this guy shadowbox, he followed some guys, and he was like, so they didn't even realize at the time, they're just thinking, they didn't realize it themselves that they were only making $8.50 to $10 an hour being a hustler. They hadn't thought of it like that because they was just looking at the large amount of money, but they didn't look at the things that went into it because they were not the boss per se. They were just a worker. So, you know, it's kind of like it's a fly. It's a it's a catch 22. That's even like with me. I work for my own self, but when I started out, they was like, you got to give it time. You got to build it up, and once you build it up, then you can go from there. And then but it's still that 5 year window that that you might be starving, it might be hard, it may be this, and then once you get past that 5 year window, if you still in business for yourself, it's still going to be hard depending on what you're doing. So it's almost like if you don't have a strong constitution about yourself, it's easy to have or lose hope about certain things. When you look at the
That's
bigger
true.
picture, you have to have a strong constitution to say, yeah, even though I'm this right now, I'm gonna stay with it. I'm gonna better my craft, whatever it may be. I don't care if you just making fences until I get a big contract, maybe with a home builder.
Yeah, Miss
You
Deborah
know,
says the mom or dad needs to be in the studio with them listening or watching to make sure they are not dissing anyone. That would be more safer. That's true. They're
hmm
especially if they're underage. I really, or even if they're young adults, I think the parents should be instrumental, and
right,
somebody needs to take it up on themselves to learn that business.
right,
Even I think even now with what they're doing with like what they did to like Young Dolph, and we all know what their Young Dolph situation. Young Dolph was assassinated, number one, because of a beef
hmm
um, that he was in. That was number one. But also, Young Dolph was assassinated because of the knowledge that he had and was applying as it
hmm
relates to the music industry. And I think when you have people like Young Dolph, I think what is in the atmosphere, they want to make a lot of these young men fearful of learning the music industry. If they want to get
hmm
in it, they just kind of submit and be taken advantage of until they decide that they don't want to be taken advantage of anymore. If they, since they want to do music, I mean that's just kind of what I feel like.
And see, and when you come to a person like Dolph, because rest in peace, Young Dolph was saying he wasn't selling dope, but he was still getting 10K a bag. Dolph is what you call an outlier. He is not your normal person. Those are people like your LeBron James, your Michael Jordans, those the greats of whatever, not just in sports or music. I'm just using them as examples. The outliers are people who have put in what they call like 10,000 plus mastery hours, or they just have that natural thing about them where they don't, the average statistic doesn't really apply to them because they are different. That's what I mean by having a strong constitution. Dolph had a strong constitution about himself because even for him to get in the game and to say, I'm not going to even touch that over there because I know what it brings, but I'll do this till I get to this. That's a strong constitution because that over there brings in a lot of money at one time. So even that, him deciding to say, I'm going to do this and not that in the dope game, that's, you don't hear a lot of people say that. But that's what I mean. He's not your average person. He's not your average just across the board. He's an outlier. That's, I mean, they have, well, that's the clinical term for people like him. He just stand out no matter what. So he makes that getting a bag, whether it's on the corner or in the industry, look easy.
Right. Rest in peace, Young Dog says Fizzle and Glock dropped a banger today. You know what? I saw that. I saw that Key Glock and Jay Fizzle dropped a song today. Y'all make sure y'all go listen to Key Glock and Jay Fizzle and run it up, run it all the way up. Republican says taking a trade and getting hired in your field is better than going those unnecessary routes to make it to the top in the industry. That's true, but unfortunately, a lot of people, for some reason, are willing to do it. It's
Hmm.
really weird. More people than you would know. They're
Right.
willing to do anything. OG Arrow says I completely blame the parents. Yeah, yeah. In a lot of instances, most of them, the instances, the parents can be blamed. Because especially now, since you see a lot of the mindset of a lot of these parents are messed up. They'll sit up and say, I'd rather my son sit up and smoke weed with me than anybody else. How about you talking to your son about not smoking weed and you don't smoke none either?
Which that goes back to what I was saying earlier. Even if I did, I wish I would split one with you or pass one to you. I'm not, because I'm not gonna do it. But that it comes down to where you're at as a parent, mental wise, or just your mental faculties as a parent. You know, I'm my age, and I'm a big age. Outside of a social drink in front of my mom, I would never drink in front of certain people, my elders, because that's just how I was raised or brought up. You know, even if they were drinking, no, that's just no, that ain't how I go. Maybe some champagne on New Year's, or margarita on 4th of July, but just thinking I'm gonna pop open this, nah,
And
that's
rest
not
in
gonna
peace,
work.
Young Dog says, and let's see my phone. I hear a phone. He says, and guess what deal Glock just turned down on his birthday? I think he said 13 mil.
Wow.
Wow. Isn't that something? Wow. Y'all, if you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Also, if you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel, but definitely hit the like button. Definitely hit the like button. Glock was well informed, quick money, but wrong field. If you don't go independent, all of them will do some strange things for some strange things for some change.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. Y'all, please hit the like button. If you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Tonight we're talking about Jada Youngin and he, being gone too soon. And this is something that we're consistently seeing, and it's becoming the norm. Um it's like now when rappers decide to get into the business, especially to go hard and be successful, it's like they're cutting their life short. It's like they are cutting their lives short. This is sad that this young man, 24 years old, lost his life.
I figured that. Rest in peace, young dog.
He said Rock Nation Glock laughed when he heard they offered him, what he said, when he heard they offered him, he said, don't even bring me no paperwork that signed it. Well, then we just got to pray for Key Glock too,
Right,
to make sure, to pray nothing happens to him either.
right. Because they're courting. That's why, yeah. I just because yeah, they courting.
But
That
that's true. Hero Fix TV, but more black kids are being killed by other black people on the street. But you're right. The first thing they say is I'm gonna sue the police department instead of making sure it ain't nothing wrong with suing the police department, but they be more into the civil suit than they do the criminal suit.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. Let me see how many likes we got. Um 90 likes, y'all. We need 10 more likes to make it 100. So if you have not hit the like button, please hit the like button. Please hit the like button. Y'all, we at 90 likes. Let's get it up to 100 likes. Let's see. We need 9 more likes. We need 9 more. Let's see. We need 9 more likes. We're
Right.
at 91.
I thought it was like his auntie on his dad's side or something like that. And rest in peace, young dog.
Mm,
That's why I say he was like 2 weeks out from getting his monitoring system moved to wherever he was supposed I guess going to be his permanent address or moving to a address. We're talking about Jada Youngin. Uh, rest in peace. Rest in peace, young Dolphin made a comment.
okay. Yeah, how long have we been on here? Because
Mm,
I'm so tired. Oh, we ain't
We,
even almost 2.5.
mm,
Y'all know this early for us, but y'all know I am tired.
mm-hmm. But if you tired, hey, it's always tomorrow. If the Lord say the same when the creek don't rise.
That's true. Let's
Okay,
see.
ladies, I'm gonna hop down in the comments. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you for coming up.
Okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right. Well, all right, Miss Cadillac. I thank you for coming up tonight.
Yes, no problem. I was happy that we connected. I was so happy when that link popped up and it went through no problem. I was like, okay, it's a go. But no, I enjoyed you all. I mean, even though we're having to talk about the death of another person, the just our conversation and the commentary, and like you say, the adult outlook on it all, it's always refreshing just to be able to talk without having to be at odds, even though someone has lost their life again.
That's true. That's so
Right.
true.
Yeah, but I enjoyed everyone, so I'll drop down as well so you can close out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right, you guys. Tonight we was talking about Jada Youngin, gone too soon. Like I was saying earlier, this definitely is happening too much. Too many young African American men are losing their lives too swiftly. But it seems like when they two pistols says take us out. It seems like when they sign a deal, that deal is almost like they are signing their own death certificate, right? It's sad in our community that a person that dares to be great is taken out because of jealousy. Like I was saying, I can't be sure, but I'm willing to bet something that whomever his ops were, they were already his ops. You know, they were probably already at odds before. And the mere fact that they were at odds and he was moving up the charts, it made them jealous. I don't know if somebody put a bag on his head. Nowadays we living in the days where people putting bags on your head. People are putting bags on your head just because you want to be successful, or just because you want to do good. You for some reason you can't do that without being murdered or taunted or harassed or violated or something. But it only happens in our community. And I wish a lot of these young men would flip the script, because and start thinking about it as uh in another way. I know that they don't believe in the law, but I think it is a good thing, at least if something happens, that because most of these young men, they know who their so-called ops are. They know who attempt their life. I wish that they would go and get this stuff documented. I wish they would get the law on their side. And Jada Youngin had enough money to hire good lawyers too. And like I said, I know that that's like a foreign language to a lot of these street dudes. They go, no, we don't really deal with the law. But I'm telling you, even if anything happens, there will already be documentation to point back at the direction that it came from, so that there can be some type of justice, you know what I mean, of some sort. Because I think that with certain families, they don't know anything about street justice. Oftentimes, they want the criminal law justice, especially if it's their loved one that is taken out, right? But y'all, this stuff has got to stop. It's got to stop in our community. I think about some of these young men who are taking out each other, because of jealousy, because of whatever. And it's sad because they don't necessarily have anything, they don't necessarily have anybody to look up to. They don't have any like OGs that's guiding them right. Instead, they're helping them to instigate. They're pulling them into their mess, and instigating and trying to get them to go hit licks for them. Some of these younger dudes, man, you're crashed. I mean, you go take care of that for me. I'll give you this amount of money. And it usually involves going and messing up somebody else's life by trying to attempt their life. And in return, the person that they sent, life is ruined because they never get away with it. They never do. Even if it seems like it, they don't get away with it. So this stuff has got to stop. And that's why I say, I was getting ready to say, these younger men in their 20s don't have anything to look up to, because you got men in their late 30s and 40s and 50s that do the exact same thing. They are emotional fools, emotional crash dummies, right? Look at the types of behaviors that they exude. So they can't really be a authentic role model or an OG to anybody, especially when they're doing crash dummy stuff. The moment they get mad about at something, and it usually stems from jealousy, they standing on their soapbox, screaming on every rooftop. Like somebody, screaming all kinds of stuff because they're just emotionally messed up, as if somebody has done something to them, but ain't nobody really did anything to them. It's just that a person dares to be great. That is a death sentence. Okay? That's the reason why I say the script has to be flipped. And a lot of these people that are out here doing these things of that nature, when you see that they exude violent behavior, when they violate you, it's best to go on and nip it in the bud. I guarantee you, a lot of these street dudes, they don't want to be in jail. Okay? But I know in the streets you labeled as police, MF, or whatever. But y'all, these kids gotta save their. They gotta start thinking. The parents have got to start instilling in them survival skills. If they're not going to have security around them 24/7, then they got to start looking at this another way, because too many people are taking these kids out, and they take them out because they feel like they can get away with it, even though they don't. In the long run, they feel like they can. They feel like they can. Okay. And then after they end up taking somebody out, you even have the people that they've taken out, you know, trying to encourage anybody that knows anything, the people's friends that they've taken out. No, we don't mess with the police. No, we can't go to the police. We can't do that. But this is your dude. Don't you want justice for him? Yeah, that's my dude. I loved him, but I can't do that. I don't talk on stuff like that. And to me, that's just sick on so many levels. And I know a lot of people say, well, they get street justice. Everybody ain't getting no damn street justice. They ain't doing shit but blowing hot air. And just because they say they went and got some street justice, it don't mean that they did. We're not in a state. We don't actually know what happened. Okay. So y'all, this stuff has got to stop. We got to start getting and promoting real justice, which is putting these. I'm gonna tell you something. A lot of these dudes would prefer for their brains to be shot out rather than having to go and do some time. That's how cowardly they are. But when they um but when they're out here terrorizing the communities, you know, hey, it's open season for them. They're out here terrorizing the community. They don't have a conscience about it. So y'all, this stuff has got to stop. They don't have a conscience about it, and they don't seem to be fearful because they have guns. Okay, but when they get into those jails and things that they start running because they don't want to run into certain people because they're being taunted, and they can't get to a gun. They don't know how to draw their fist up, and I ain't talking about to draw their fist up at no woman. Because see, when you like to beat up on women, that don't count. It don't count when you like to terrorize and beat up on women and you a man. As a matter of fact, if that's on your background, you pitiful. Okay? Because you hear a lot of people say, yeah, check my background, nigga. All that's on your background is domestic violence and crimes against women. You pitiful. So that don't make you gangster, terrorizing and victimizing women. Domestic violence and domestic abuse don't make you no gangster. So not you. Okay? He says sometimes snitching isn't a bad thing. Right. If it's going to help to save your life. If it's going to help to save your life. Sometimes the best thing you could do for a person is especially when they are violating you, is to help to send them on back to what they used to. Because they don't know how to function in the world amongst decent people. So you have to send them back to them gorillas and monsters that they used to being around. A lot of times, like I said, that's what they want to be. That's right. It ain't no pistols in jail. Okay? And everybody likes to play bad. Okay? They like to play bad as long as they can get their hands on a weapon. But when they're in that jail and they ain't got no shank. And all they can do is ball their fist up and somebody sprang on them, as they say. They sitting there startled, scared to do anything. Act straight drop. Okay. And I don't wish that up on anybody. But anytime you bragging about you a paid hitman, okay? If you a paid hitman, that means that you ought to be able to defend yourself when you in jail. That means you can't do nothing unless you got a gun destroying other people's lives. You don't know how to put your dukes up and fight, and that's what's going on. And a lot of them don't know how to fight unless they're fighting women. You talking about pitiful? I don't have nothing for no man that like to beat up on women. Period. They like to verbally assault, sexually assault, or physically assault a woman. I don't have anything for a down low, pathetic man like that. Okay? And then I'll say, check my background. It's just full of domestic violence against women. Got the nerve to say that, check my background, and it's straight up nothing but violence against women. Okay? They'll pay hitman that go to jail and get busted upside their head because they don't know how to fight. Absolutely. Amen, Miss T. You would think that you have some survival skills while in jail or streets. That's true. So y'all, it's got to be, a renewal of the mind, okay? It do, y'all. This stuff has got to stop. I can't stand seeing these young men lose their lives. I can't. But it's sad that they don't really have anything to look up to when you got men that are double their age that are encouraging them. They start grooming them, and especially if they see they ain't got nothing, they'll go ahead pull them on up under them so that they can send them out on crash dummy missions and gas them up and instigate some shit. That's somebody we can use right there. He hungry, he ain't got nothing. We can go send him to take care of our little lightweight. Man or woman, they don't give a damn. These folks putting hits on women. All because they dare to be great. The woman ain't did nothing to them. Just great. And you got men trying to take them out and plot with other men to take their lives because they jealous of them. It's sad. That's why I say it's good to nip stuff in the bud and take it on to the authorities. It might help your life, because if them Negroes in jail, they can't be out doing crash dummy shit. They can't. That's what they want them to do. They don't want them to go to the law. They want to shame them into not going to the law so that they can take them out. That's why when people say you the police, you love them police. I love them. I sure do. I love them. Now what? You just like to go to the law. I do. Now what? Y'all got to stop allowing people to trick you into positions where they can take advantage of you. They already want you dead, oftentimes, because they mentally messed up. We gotta start teaching, especially and instilling in our children where it's not okay when you get into it with somebody and they start shooting at you. That's not okay. They start trying to take your life. It's not okay. You shoot fire up under their ass if you don't defend yourself, because you can defend yourself when somebody is a threat to you. You go and you get that stuff documented, because these people have lost their minds. We have a lot of emotionally unstable young men, and then they dealing with OGs that ain't no better. They even worse. So they ain't got nobody to look up to. They ain't got nobody to help them to redirect whatever that anger is, because they dealing with emotionally unstable people. They got them all around them. It's got to be. I don't understand what's going on with our men. I don't understand what's going on with our men. It is something wrong. It's something wrong. These kids losing their lives in the street. It's being instigated by a lot of these OGs. And then they got a lot of these older men, they got kids at home. And they wonder why their home, their structure is not right at home. It's because they are not setting good examples in most instances. And the women too, because you got a lot of messy women. So y'all, it's gotta, if you sitting up gossiping in line and causing all kinds of ruckus in your household, and your kids looking at that, what you think they gonna do? You teaching them how to act. Okay. So y'all, it's gotta, and I said all that to say this, it's gotta start within our households. It's gotta start within our households. If you emotionally messed up, go get yourself some help. Go somewhere and talk to you a shrink. Okay? So that you can be balanced out, especially if you got children, so that you can at least be healthy to try and to try and keep your household right. Because a lot of these kids are coming up out of broken homes and they latching on to people that ain't nothing but fools. All they ever did was be shisty. All they ever did was instigate shit, use people, con artists. And this is what a lot of the younger generation now is latching on to, and they making them 10 times. They already emotionally messed up. And they making them 10 times worse, y'all. Young men like JAYDAYOUNGAN, this stuff has got to stop. All of this jealousy, it stems from jealousy. Ain't nobody talking nothing out no more. How in the hell they feel like these young dudes supposed to talk something out when they see their dad is talking about all the time? Oh, he disrespected me, I'ma kill him. That's what they see and hear. That's not giving them excuses, but it's just the damn truth. How they gonna respect women when they see their daddy cussing their own mamas out, calling her all kinds of B's and H's, and when he get mad, he going upside her head. He gonna mimic the same thing. That's what he gonna do in his damn household. because that's all he's ever seen. That's why I say we got to start teaching our kids to start nipping stuff. And I know a lot of people say, well, once you start running to the police, you send that's a death trap. They're gonna take them out. They're gonna take them out anyways. If they shooting at them, they not shooting at them because to just be shooting at them. They shooting at them because they want to kill them. At least if you go tell on their asses, they go get arrested. They might take their asses to jail. So that's not necessarily a death trap, because if they stay out, they ain't gonna stop. Look at what happened to Young Dolph. If Young Dolph has if he wasn't gonna go to the police, he should have stretched him. But the man was halfway decent. He didn't do that. Okay, or not halfway decent. He was a lot decent. He did have a regards for life. He had regards for life. Because if he didn't, he'd have stretched him out when they tried to take him out 2 times before. Okay? And not going to the police didn't stop him. Because he had the opportunity to do that. It was on the news. They knew who did it. Okay? The police knew who did it. But Dolph kept trying to wave the white flag, Don't stop nothing. That's what I'm saying. Whether you go or not, when that jealousy is on the inside of them, they ain't gonna stop. As a matter of fact, if you don't go, it's gonna make it worse. That's why you shoot some paperwork up under their ass. Okay? If you ain't gonna stretch them out, shoot some paperwork up under their ass. Let their asses go back to that penitentiary with the men that they want to be up under anyways. When they career criminals, that's what they want to be. They hate women. So they really want to be back in there with them men. And when they violate you, you help them to go back. You got that right. Because it's laws against violating people. You send them motherfuckers back to where they used to be, up under them damn men. Okay? That's what you do. Because it's laws against people violating you, trying to take your life, and all kinds of other stuff, y'all. Just the way that is, and the reason I put a lot of emphasis on this is because the way that we doing it ain't working. It ain't working the way that we doing it. It's too many of these young dudes losing their lives. It ain't working. So we got to do it another way. We got to sit down at the table and come up with something else. It ain't working. These young dudes ain't going to the police when they being shot at, and they still losing their lives. So now it's got to start within. Parents got to stop. They got to start setting. They got to start talking to their children, because regardless to what a parent is into, good, bad, or whatever, they love their kids, right? The majority of them do. They love their children. They don't want to see their kids killed. So y'all, like I said, it's got to be a renewal of the mind. But a lot of these OGs ought to be ashamed of themselves. They need to be ashamed of themselves. The younger generation do not have anything really to look up to. Not everybody, but the majority of them, especially these ones that's out in the street, they live to send out these young dudes. That's what they live for. They live to send them out. Okay? Okay, they live to send them out. So there has to be it has to be a restructure. It's we got to sit at we got to go back to the table, y'all, because it's gonna take our generation to save their generation. But the problem is, you got Negroes that sitting up talking about, well, I had to go through it. I had wanted to be a rapper and I couldn't do it because I was a drunk. I went through hell. So they gonna have to go through hell too. My dreams that didn't come true, nigga. Your dreams didn't come true because you chose a crack rock. That's what you chose. So now you want somebody behind you to go through what you went through. I had went through it. You ought to not want to see them go through what you went through. I get tired of people with that. If I went through it, they just gonna have to go through it too. Now I go through it so they won't have to go through it. If they choose to go through it, then sometimes you can't stop it. But if I can keep them from going through it, then I'm gonna speak up so they won't have to. Well, my life was hard. My life was hard. He act like his life ain't supposed to be hard. Nigga, you was an alcoholic. You was a crackhead. You was a cokehead. You chose that life. So you mean to tell me you gonna put one in his hand because you went through it? Okay. You done went through it and you want to see somebody else go through what you went through. That's what I'm talking about. Our people messed up. Our people completely messed up. Catalina says it's ice and meth. That they ain't smoking crack no more. You right. They look down on crackheads. When the truth of the matter is, it seemed like to me, the with all this stuff that they own now, the crackheads probably the ones that might be better off. Because I didn't see them doing a lot of what they doing now. These folks, whatever they doing now, I never thought I would live to see people lacing whatever they lacing their weed or stuff with fentanyl. Horses, tranquilizer, fentanyl. What is our world coming to? Hell, I never thought I'd live to see black people doing heroin either. That wasn't a black people didn't do no heroin. Or meth. But they are all kinds of stuff. And these people have the nerve to sit up. You have people that have the nerve to sit up and try to blame other people for what they chose to go through. My life was hard. Ain't nobody ever gave me nothing. They turned their back on me. Nigga, you went and got on drugs. Is that your mama's fault? Now you trying to mess up somebody else's child. Okay? It's messed up, y'all. She said they throw fabric softener in meth. Fabric softener. These folks smoking anything. That's why they so crazy. Y'all make sure y'all go get licensed. Now I see why. I'm talking about for your weapons. Keep one. Now I see why they so zombified. They smoking on anything. And you might have to stretch them. Yes, they on the rich man's drugs. I don't. Would have never thought that BLK black men are on them kind of drugs. Well, a rich man's drug is cocaine. I don't think they getting none of that. They if they getting crack, they can't afford no damn cocaine, not no real cocaine. They broke junkies. Okay, they broke and broke down because these black men and black men, not y'all that's on here, but these the majority of these black men is destroying the damn black community. I'm telling you that that's what they doing. They want nothing more than to break down a black woman, which is the reason why I say black women put paperwork up under their motherfucking asses before you ever let them break you down. Okay? Because they hate women. Because they probably hate their own mamas. The black women have been the ones that has been having to hold the households together, and you got these nappy cuckabug head Negroes have decided that they want nothing better to do than to try to destroy a strong woman. Okay? That's why when you violate it, you take it to the laws. It's laws against that. Because it really ain't about you. It's about trying to break your spirit down because you got a lot of black men. That's what they're doing. They tearing up their own households. They're not even raising their children, their sons right. They ain't even in the house raising their damn sons. Okay? They ain't even raising their sons. And then have the nerve to blame their mama who they left to raise the son all by themselves when he ain't raised right. It's his mama's fault. She didn't raise him right. Nigga, you was on drugs. You chose to turn your back on your kids, and that lady did the best she could do, and you try and break her spirit. And she fed your damn kids while you snorted crack or something. Cause it wasn't no cocaine. Cause they can't afford that. These are broke junkies. Okay, okay. And then they'll stand on their soapbox and say, "My baby mama had turned did my kids away. My childrens can't even talk. My baby mamas had turned did my children says against me." No, they don't respect you because they saw how you talk bad about their mama, the only consistent figure in their life that fed them when you was an alcoholic. Okay, when you was an alcoholic, funky drunk, funky drunk, ought to be ashamed of themselves. Don't know how their kids ate. Don't care if they ate. Then left all your kids for the baby mama to raise by herself. Ain't gave them nothing when you had to give them $50. You just want all my money. $50. Okay. Don't know how they ate. Don't care how they ate. But when something go wrong, they blame the baby mama. And then when they finally get around the kids, they have nerve to try to talk about they mama to the kids and expect for the kids to like them. No, they ain't got no respect for you because what they saw was consistency from their mama. Why would a man even want to talk about their children's mother in front of their children? Somebody that has laid down and had their damn babies. But then to talk about it in front of your children, and that lady is the one, the primary custodial parent, the one taking care of your kids, and you got the damn nerdy thing because you go and get them and buy them some ice cream every 6 months that you doing something. Okay. And this is why we see a lot of emotionally unstable, okay, kids, because they have a lot of there are a lot of emotionally unstable adults, and it's mostly black men, because anytime you get on YouTube and you start coming at women, it's something wrong, it's something off about that. I ain't been able to wrap my psyche around that one yet. Okay, it's something that's off about that. I didn't grow up around men like that. I grew up around real strong, stable men that was about their business, and they took care of their women and their children. Even if they went and messed up out in the street, they took care of their women and their children. Okay, they understood that they had to take care of their woman and make sure she was happy because she kept that household going. She kept that household going. He needed for her to be mentally healthy. Those were the type of men that I grew up around. Not a bunch of bitch ass niggas that felt like they needed to destroy women. And these are the women that's taking care of their children. So if you mentally destroy her, you already unstable, nigga. How you feel like your kids gonna turn out? Okay. So I said all of that to say this. OGs, talk to your sons, because your sons, if you got your ass in your 40s, it's your 20-year-old sons that's out here spinning, that's emotionally messed up, that's out here taking out people like Jada Youngin and Young Dolph and all of them because they mentally messed up. Okay? They're emotionally messed up. They are. They don't have a constant, oftentimes a constant father figure in their life, and when they do, the dad is just as worse. If you sitting up in your 40s and 50s talking about you a gangster, you ought to be shot, because you pitiful. Somebody need to shoot you right in your ass. You is pitiful. I'm a gangster, and you sitting up in your 40s and 50s, half of a damn hundred. When does it stop? When does it get better? And then your kids, your sons and your daughters looking at that, and then grandkids. I want my they don't say them, I want my grandkids to know that I'm a good grandfather. I want my grandkids to know I'm an OG. I'm an original gangster. What they got to look up to, y'all? What do they have to look up to? Because the men are supposed to be leading their households. They supposed to be leading their damn households, their women and their children. That's what they supposed to be doing. Okay. But they ain't even doing that. Instead, they are destroying their households and their women and ultimately their children. Okay? Because everybody is unstable. It's a lot of women having breakdowns because they don't know how to let go. They stay with an old, emotionally abusive man or physically abusive man until he give her a nervous breakdown. And then she ain't no more good for her kids. You got the oldest child, which is probably about 8, having to raise the rest of them because mama then had a nervous breakdown because daddy then emotionally beat her down until she had one. And then he think he a man. Yeah, I made that bee lose her mind. And that's why God whooping a lot of these men's asses. Okay. because of how they doing these women. Women that have laid down and had their children. So y'all, it's got, you know, it's gonna have to start with the black men. You know, I don't mean no harm with black men. Y'all gonna have to get up off the drugs. Y'all gonna have to put that crack pipe down. Put that crack pipe down and get back on your throne. Because when you sitting up on crack and on all kinds of drugs, and then you sitting up talking about what all you done had to go through, you went through it because that's the life you chose oftentimes, especially as an adult. If you got your ass on drugs, that's the life you chose. It ain't that woman's fault. She couldn't help me to get off drugs. They blaming the woman because she can't help him to put that pipe down. He done put that burden on her. You won't help me put the pipe down. You runs me to the pipe when you know damn well you was gonna go hit that pipe anyways. You blaming her until you done gave her nervous breakdown, and now she can't take care of her kids no more. You already on crack. Now you done gave her a nervous breakdown. Now who your kids got? Nobody. Because grandmama's not how they used to be. They in the club wanting to twerk. So we don't have, grandmamas are not how they used to be. So the oldest child, which is about 7, 8, 9 years old, raising the youngest kid. So now that 7, 8, 9 year old is gonna be emotionally messed up because they ain't got no childhood. I never forget I used to let this little girl braid my hair. She was she was I don't know how she must have been recommended through one of my cousins, but she was actually my oldest daughter's age. And one day she sat down and started telling me her story. I kid you not. She talked about how her mama was on crack. And she said, everywhere I used to go, I used to have my brothers and sisters. She had a twin brother and sister. They were twins. And she had one that was about a year older than the twins. She said, and every month when my mama got her check, I would go to the office and she said I would go to the corner store and get a money order when I was 10 years old, and I would take it to the office and pay the rent. And everywhere I go, I had my brother and sister with me. I was pushing their stroller. Now this is a damn 10-year-old that was forced to be an adult. And so she could braid hair really, really good. I've lost contact with her now, but every time I wanted my hair braided, instead of going to the Africans, I always made sure I called her and I would tip her real good because I saw what that child had gone through. Okay. But it's a shame that it's so many parents choosing to try drugs. You already know what crack gonna do to you if you try it. So why are you trying it? That's what I can't understand. People stand on their soapbox and talk about what they done went through. But nigga, you was 30 years old when you got strung out. Hell, you been knowing what was gonna happen when you tried that crack. You knew you was gonna get strung out. You knew what was gonna go on when you shot yourself up with that heroin. I just tried it one time, and then you stand on your soapbox talking about I've been through hell because I was on drugs. You knew you was gonna get strung out when you did it. People don't like to take responsibility for their own damn actions. They just want somebody to always feel sorry for them. You was 50 years old when you got on that crack, and you act like you didn't know what it was gonna do. You got 10-year-olds that know what to just say no to crack. And you 50 and you don't, and you get strung out on it, you want to blame somebody else. I've been through hell because I was on crack. Okay. So it's gonna have to start in the household. I said all that to say this. It's gonna have to start in the household. In the households, parents are gonna have to start setting better examples for their children. Women, be careful about who you have these babies with. I can't just put it all on the men and not on the women. Take your birth control pills. Be careful about who you have these babies with. Okay? Because it ain't no need to be having 5 and 6 babies with a man that didn't do right with the first one. Okay? Because if he didn't do right with the first one, he ain't going to do right with number 6. So people got to start taking responsibility for what they do and stop trying to outsource their blame and blaming everybody else. Because emotionally messed up adults produce emotionally messed up children. Every now and again, one might slip through the cracks and come out healthy, but they got to have a constant, a teacher might take them up under their wing and be determined to help them. But if they grow up in a toxic environment, they usually become a product of that. Because I can't stand to see no nigga blaming a mama for kids being messed up and he didn't come and get his kids. She raised my kids in a toxic environment. How come you ain't got them then? They're your kids. What you mean? How come you ain't got your damn kids? They in a toxic environment. Well, I had lived at home. My mama, I was living on the street. I ain't have no car, ain't have no job. Nigga, you worse off than her. What are you talking about her for? But that's what's going on. He'll go all in on how toxic she was, got my kids crazy, my daughter, my baby crazy. Well, how come you ain't got them? Well, I ain't got no job, I ain't got no car, I live at home with my mama. It's 10 of us in the house. I'm on crack real bad. I'm a recovering alcoholic. Oh, okay, but you can stand on your soapbox and talk about your baby mama, right? And you really scraping the bottom of the barrel. So you ain't no good for your kids either, then, right? Whew, y'all, I didn't know it was 1 o'clock in the morning. Oh, child, let me get on off of here because I had gotten sleepy, but I kind of got my second wind. I didn't know it was 1 o'clock until somebody said good morning. I looked down there at the clock. I said, oh my God, it's almost 1 o'clock. I know y'all got to go to work in the morning. I ain't mean to keep y'all on here this long, but y'all know how passionate I am about stuff like that. But I said all of that to say this. It starts at home. Black men are going to have to put down the crack and the heroin and the phenamines, whatever they call them. It's too much stuff, too many drugs. I've never been on no drugs, so I don't know them. Okay, but they're gonna have to put all of that stuff down. Everybody got code. I don't like people with codependent personalities. It seems like every other black person have a codependent personality. We codependent on something other than God. If you want some codependency, become codependent on God and watch and see what he do for you. I'm telling you, that's the best codependency to have. Instead, they codependent on other people. They codependent on drugs. They codependent on likes on Facebook. They codependent on hearts on Instagram. They codependent on views on YouTube. Codependent personalities. Instead of being codependent on God, so you can at least have some kind of healthy, healthy mental state. so that you can raise your children right. That's why I always say, if I got a message and I get on here, I wouldn't give a damn if it is two people. I ain't codependent. I'm not codependent on views. I actually got a damn life. I'm codependent on God because that's what I need to get through my day. Because I got a life. I have things going on. I got children. I got family members. I have a mother who's getting older. I got a father who's getting older, whose health is a little shaky sometimes. So I have to depend on God, because that's what's going to get me through when I look at all that I got before me, when I got kids in an ugly world that I have to consistently pray through to keep the evils away from my children. When you got people wishing all kinds of bad luck on you because they dark and them, that those fiery darts have been reversed back to them. Okay? Because I reverse every curse. That's why I don't worry about that. So I have to stay codependent on God. That's the best codependency that you could ever have. And that's what people don't even understand. They codependent on a whole lot of stuff that ain't gonna last anyways. Okay. So I have a real life. That's why when I get on here and I get people up off of me and I go, I can't deal with that. I'm not gonna deal with being violated. It's people for in place for stuff like that. That's why I say, when people have violated the law as it relates to you, you let the laws deal with that. I can't deal with that. They got laws in place for stuff like that. But I'm gonna keep my codependency on God because I got real issues going on. I have to pray some people through some stuff, to include myself. So when I say I ain't crawling into no barrels, I mean I ain't crawling into no damn barrels. I'm not a bottom feeder. I ain't never been. Even when I was growing up in the projects, up until I was 12 years old, I was never a bottom feeder. That's not how I was raised. Right in South Memphis, in the heart of South Memphis, in the gutter of South Memphis, in Clementine. That's where I was raised at. Anybody in Memphis know that Clementine was the bottom. It was the bottom. The rats ran across the yard. That's where I grew up at. But I still wasn't no bottom feeder. I didn't have no bottom feeder mentality because that's not how I was raised. I was raised in the projects. I was not of it. That's why I say it has to start within. It has to start within the household. And these folks got to take their households back, and they got to put these drugs down and get back on their throne. And that their kids see that I'm the king and I'm the queen. And even if we ain't together, I'm still a king, and we're going to coexist, and I'm going to respect your mama, and your mama going to respect me, and we're going to raise our kids right and be on one accord. Okay? Okay? Whew, child. I ain't planning to be on here no 3 hours tonight. I'm going to tell y'all something. I've been on vacation, and I kid you not, when I called Demon and Catalea up here, I had to hurry up and get them up here earlier because my head had started bobbing. My head was going back and forwards because I was dozing off. But I think I got my second wind. When they got off, when I said, y'all, we've been on here 2 hours, I was ready to get off. I had one eye was open and one eye was closed, and the other one was about to close up because I was so sleepy. But God, I must have had a message. God gave me my second win, but I'm getting ready to get out because I got to get up and go out on a case in the morning. But listen, I have enjoyed being here with you all. Let me tell y'all something. My head was bobbing back and forth. I told D-Mon, I said, D-Mon, I'll be right back. I had to go ahead and lay my head down and close my eyes. Okay, they know how to carry it on when I'm, because I've been on vacation. I was tired. Okay. But I want y'all to know that I have enjoyed being on here with you guys. Um, it is always a blessing to um to be on here with my subscribers, regardless to how many I have. It's always a blessing. As long as they ain't coming in here causing no trouble. It is a blessing. I'd rather have good people in here with good energy and entities than to have to deal with a bunch of fake, phony devils that's full of witchcraft. I'll take a quality over quantity any day because my codependency ain't on my views on YouTube. My codependency is on God. And when it's time to grow, a devil in hell can't stop that. A devil in hell can't stop it. That's why when they when they was committing all of these offenses against me, and they thought, well, this time we know we got her, and then I would come right back like ain't nothing happened. It was because God was consistently giving me my second win because I can't be stopped. When you led by another power, you can't be stopped. I came back to put out a message. That's why when people, start getting into all of that other stuff, well, how come you don't believe this? Especially as it relates to the Young Dogs case. Do y'all think that I'm gonna know them damn people that work in the damn DA's office and work down there at the police department and work down there in the jail and listen to what somebody else say and not the people that know what's going on? Well, you must had know that some of these people, it was somebody got on here, and I ain't got no problem with the young lady, but she slick tried to insult me. Well, you know that I had know that you know that the cookie shop, that them people sis at the cookie shop had something to do with it. I don't know if they had anything to do with it or not. But what I am gonna say is I ain't never heard an investigator, and I know the people that work down there in that grand jury ain't never heard them say, well, we get ready to indict them. And I be knowing when them indictments coming. Let me just let you know that. Everything I know I don't put out, I know when they coming down. That's why I can tell you some more coming. I ain't never heard they was gonna be indicted. So if I ain't heard it from the people, I'm not gonna get on here on my stand on my soapbox and defame them folks. Well, you must know them now. I must know the investigators that know about the case. And they ain't never said nothing about them to me. Okay. And they've said some names, but they never said nothing about them to me. Okay. So you're not gonna hear me get on here and accuse Raven or whoever it is, and I sure ain't gonna do it to appease nobody or for no views. Well, all you need is a man. Well, I guess you the damn investigator. If you so sure they did it, that means you was out there. Was you out there? Because I wasn't out there. So what I have to do is I have to take the lead of the federal agents and the investigators. That's what I have to do. Okay? That's what I have to do. So it's a damn shame when you can't get on here and trying to at least guide people in the right direction. Hell, I be having the information. And even if I can't give it all to you, I try to guide you right. And then people will turn around and get mad at you because of their mental illness because you ain't saying what they want you to say and they don't know a damn thing about the damn case. Okay. Well, I know you know them people in pre did and know they didn't. I ain't got no listen, I don't know any of them young men in pre. If I was told or if I had been told that there was any chance, daddy or any of them, if there was any chance that they had something to do with young Dolph's murder, I'd be throwing all types of shots at them. Every chance I got, I'd be throwing a subliminal because I'd be pissed off as hell. So I think people got it confused. They actually think that for some reason I want to protect them regardless of whether they wrong or not. I don't stand on the side of wrong. They ain't had nothing to do with it. If you hear me throwing shots at some people, it's because I've heard some names and it makes me mad as hell. It's a lot of shit I don't talk about because I have a fire to go up through my body, the thought of talking about it. So I always say, y'all, we're gonna pray this out because there's some things I can't talk about. Because what they did to that boy was wrong. I try to be as tasteful and tactful as I can be. But I am a human being and it makes me mad because I don't like to see people done wrong, especially for nothing. That's why when I hear Demon say, Tamara, you don't deserve that. What they did to you on this internet, you making your videos, and what they did to you was wrong. Tamara, it's not right. You don't deserve that, and I don't deserve it. It's sad how people will violate you because of their agenda and their jealousy. It's sad. It's sad. That boy was taken down just like JAYDAYOUNGAN for nothing more than jealousy. Nothing more than jealousy. And it ain't nothing that you or I or nobody else can do to change the outcome because they already know what has happened. They already know. And that's what I've always put out into the atmosphere. Y'all, they know what happened. So ain't no need to put no hits on nobody because they already know. They've been knowing. I kept throwing out hits. They trying to tie up the loose ends, y'all. They just trying to tie them up so these folks can't get off. It all goes back to what the Bible says. Your sin will find you out. The day that they killed that boy, weeks later, their sin had found them out. They thought they were so slick. They didn't really start getting careful until they didn't know how quick the folks was on their ass. Because the people that was not in agreement with it had already got in contact with the police. That's why I say I take the lead of the investigators. I wouldn't give a damn what nobody else said. Can't nobody tell me what to do. I believe the investigators because they got the juice. They got the goods. They know what happened. I believe that. I believe the federal agents. I'm gonna ride with them. I'm gonna ride this thing on out with them. Cause so far they ain't let me down. They ain't let us down. Okay. I'm gonna just keep riding it on out with them, and it ain't because I'm telling them nothing. It's because they already know. Okay. All right, you guys. Who's still in here? I want to acknowledge who is in here before I get off, because y'all know how I be getting crunk up. That coffee, that coffee had got me crunk up. Because I promise you, I was asleep. I went to sleep on that Demon Catalea had a damn show because I was sleepy. I had to close my eyes. Had started closing up. Let's see. I see Catalea in here. I see Two Pistols, Letitia, a Republicrat. I see Demon, Hakia, Natural Born Queen. Um, who else? Bonita. Thank you, Miss Benita. Did I say Republicrat? Miss Deborah. OG Elroy's in the house. I love OG Elroy. Um, he's very supportive of my show. Let's see. Clarinetta, Leo Thompson. Um, did I say Dima and Miss Michelle? And there's some more people in here. I guess those are the people in the backwoods. I would like to know who was in the backwoods, because that was only like 7 or 8 people. So that means it's 60 something people that's in the woods that ain't saying nothing. Okay, Prosperous Lioness. I love that name. Prosperous Lioness. Lioness. Love you, Tamara. Have a good night. I love you too, Prosperous Lion. I love lions so much. Those are my favorite animals. I could look at a lion documentary. On my off time, I'm gonna tell y'all something. When I'm not working, I'll sit on my couch and look at a lions documentary. Oh my god, I love lions so much. Did I say natural? I got shotgun on that ride. Miss Deborah, shout out to Florida. Florida is in the house. What states are you guys in? I be wanting to ask y'all what states y'all in. I know some people don't be wanting to tell, but I be wanting to ask so I can send shouts out to the state that you're in. Shout out to Florida. One of my friends live in Florida. She lives in Boca. Two Pistols said they in the woods. They dedicated though, cause I tell you, they stand in the woods too. They is not leaving, but they not saying nothing though. Republican is from Missouri. Michelle is from Memphis. Memphis in the building. Um, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Well, like I said, California Black Swan. Black Swan is in the building from California. But like I was saying, you guys, we have to. Okay, Natural Born Queen is from Cali. Leo Thompson is from Washington D.C. Yes, T. I am in Memphis with you. Let's raise the roof. Even though I'm in Mississippi right now. Girl, I'm just on the outskirts of Mississippi. Shit, I am only in the suburbs. It's still Memphis. I'm still a Memphis girl. Um, in California. Shout out to California. But like I was saying, you guys, we have to consistently pray this thing through with the young doll's case, and just pray that My prayer is that everybody that is involved, and there was quite a few, is indicted. You know, we do know that more people are going to be indicted, but I pray that it goes all the way up to the top. Like I always talk about the roots of a tree, right? I want the root of the tree dug up because they're the ones that's ruining um, the black community. They are. They're using their money to ruin the black community, and we don't need that in our community. You know, the Memphis community is already impoverished. If you're not going to do anything to help the Memphis community, don't do nothing to hurt them. And you're hurting them when you were paying these young dudes to go and do crash dummy stuff, right? And that's got to stop, you know. So, like I said, that's got to stop. I can't as it relates to this young dog's case. I cannot, because it's already hard enough. You know what I mean? When you're getting on here and it's almost like reliving that the emotion of seeing that young man's arm and stuff out of the window and the way they just shot him down. It was just a normal day for him, and he just walked into a cookie shop and they killed him. They shot him like that. That's evil. That's like evil on so many levels. And so, I want everybody that was involved to be got, but I also can't go around accusing people. You'll never see me do that based on what somebody else feels. Well, it's obvious. It ain't obvious to me. I wasn't there. But if the investigators have verified and confirmed some things, and then they say, well, this is the direction that we're going in based on the information that we have, then it's safe to say I'm going to follow that. But if I've never heard somebody be implicated by a credible source. I can't I can't get on here and do that. That's not how I can't do that. I don't live my life like that. Because I do believe in karma. I can't do that. I can't do it. That's not how you do investigations. Accuse people based on what you feel or it's obvious, because oftentimes things that it might look obvious, but that ain't what it is. Okay. It might not be what it is. That's why they say you have to verify. And it has to check out. And if you don't have all the information, you can't verify a damn thing to me. You got to be an investigator that's actually working the case. Not unless you was out there. Okay? Not unless you was out there. Okay? All right, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. That other eye starting to close up again. That means that I'm getting tired again. I want you guys to know that I love you guys. I want you guys to have a good day at work tomorrow. For those of you all that has to go to work, and I want to pray for you guys, pray over you guys. To you know what? I didn't know they had so much witchcraft over this internet. Hey, Auntie Fee, it's a lot of witchcraft over this internet, and I reverse every demonic curse and send it back to the sender. Thank you, Miss Pisces. I reverse every demonic curse and send it back to the sender. All these people out here practicing all kinds of voodoo and witchcraft, talking about they gonna do this, and that to people. Those curses are reversed, and I ask God to cover all of my subscribers. Okay, Auntie Fee, y'all, shout out to Auntie Fee is in the house. And I asked God, Player Co was in here earlier. Shout out to him, Player Co Street Politics. I asked God to send every curse back to the sender. Any curse that's spoken over my subscribers, I ask God to protect their information from the hackers They ain't gonna have to worry about them long anyways. Because these folks are stealing information and selling it. Trying to, let me close my mouth. Okay. So I ask God to cover them in the name of Jesus, to cover us and protect our families. And whatever plot and scheme that they try to come up with, it ain't gonna work. It's gonna backfire every time. Just like it backfired on what they did to Dolph, each and every time they try and plot against me or any of my subscribers. As Miss Lowdown said, that means well. Okay? God is going to reverse the curse and send it back to them. Okay? Because no weapon formed against any of us will ever be able to prosper. You better be careful about who you put your mouth on, because you'll mess around and have a stroke putting your mouth on the wrong person. God will twist your tongue up in your mouth. You will have a stroke. Because there's some people you can't mess with. It's some people you can't put your mouth on. And it's some people you can't come up against. I wouldn't care how much they paid you. It's just some you can't come up against. You better be real careful about who you coming up against. You better know their ranking in the spiritual. Some of these folks is croaking out because they messing with people whose ancestors sealed prayers in heaven for their generations to come many years ago, and they covered. You better know a person's ranking in the spiritual before you come up against them, because you'll have a heart attack and die the moment you try to do something to them, because God got that person covered. He's honoring the prayers of their great grandparents. You better be very careful. Okay. All right. All right, you guys. I keep saying I'm gonna get off of here, but I'm gonna get off of here for real this time, because I do have to get up and go out on a case in the morning. Okay. I see two pistols trying to encourage me to keep going. I got to get up and go out on a case in the morning. But as I said, you guys, I really appreciate y'all for being here with me. I'm so happy to be back. I enjoyed my vacation. I told y'all when I came back, I was going in. We'll be back here tomorrow night. Make sure y'all, I got a video that's going to air that I already did. It's going to air tomorrow at 8 o'clock. So make sure y'all go and set y'all clocks for 8 o'clock when y'all getting up for work, so y'all can be listening to my video. It comes on at 8 o'clock in the morning. And I'll be talking about straight drop, okay? I love you guys. Have a good day, okay?